I wish good things to you who's watching this. I am Alexey, and with me today is the 2024 Azul World Champion and also a Carcassonne Master from Team Hong Kong, Sunny Cheng. Hi, Sunny.
Hi, Alexey, and hi, everyone.
So we'll be doing not an Azul stream, sadly, and most of my viewers will probably know as one of the best Azul players in the world. For Carcassonne, they might not know you so well. However, you recently did cross your 700 threshold, and I would say that currently you are the strongest or tied for strongest flip player in Hong Kong. Would that be a fair assessment?
I guess Carcassonne come with some luck, and I'm fairly lucky at that period of time. That's why I can cross my 700 threshold. Yeah.
Yeah, that is a very diplomatic way to answer. No need to be modest. Like, this is the very free stream. You could just really say whatever you want for the most part. Anyway. So we'll be watching two matches today of the World Team Carcassonne Online Championship. We're currently in round 2. We'll be watching now a Group D match between the United Kingdom and Guatemala. And in 2 hours, we'll watch Malaysia versus United States. So far, United Kingdom has a great start, taking a loss in their first match against Greece, which was a bit of an upset, and Guatemala taking a loss against Colombia. And both of these teams will be looking to secure their first win. For those of you who are into the world of competitive Carcassonne, y'all will know that the United Kingdom will be the favorite here. They have of the higher rated players, but they're also last year's semi-finalist. So for Guatemala, it is going to be an uphill battle. But let's see what they can do in order to win this. So let's have a look at the pairings first. Before I go through the pairings, Sunny, like, are you familiar with any of these players, either from Guatemala or from the United Kingdom? Have you played against them? Do you have any insights about their strengths and weaknesses?
Not really, but I've played against United Kingdom player like Statmed before, and I've played in not Carcassonne, but also in many other games because I usually join the London MSO, but I saw that he's not in the lineup today, and the rest of the team, I'm not really familiar with them.
Yeah, well, I am, likely. So, on table 1, we have Corelli of the United Kingdom, a really solid player, the vice champion in 2023 of the National Championship, rated around 600 at the moment. Let's see, 7,000 games of experience, roughly. Yeah, so they seem to be in really good shape. They're playing against Guatemala's Illusions, who, whilst is significantly low rated at 2028, I think her peak is also higher, and she did show a really strong performance against her Colombian opponent in round 1 last week, coming quite close to delivering another match point for Guatemala. On table 2, the 2022 the 2022 UK champion Chris Wallace, also known as Wallace Prime, who has been featured on this channel many times, both as a player and as a guest. You all may be familiar with his inventions like 3-dimensional Carcassonne in a variety of shapes and all kind of physical features. Yeah, currently rated around 600. He'll be playing against Chini GT, who is rated 355. So I think it's the second highest rating in Guatemala at the moment, 5,000 games of experience. And with some decent tiles, we hope to see a battle on table 2. On table 3, Lazy Boar, another British expert, another player rated 600, so really high average elo for the Brits, will be playing against Dexter99, who is currently rated 300 with 1,000 game of experience. Now, table 4 is one of the two most interesting tables ever. That's Nick Basti, the 2022 Mindsports Olympiad winner, and I mean the winner of the in-person event in London. He's going to be playing against the captain and the strongest player in Guatemala, Lycos, who's rated 430, but their peak is around 500. And so this is a matchup that I'd be keen on seeing at the start. The second most interesting matchup, I think, is between Lord Terrycloth as one of the newer players. That's David Faraci, currently rated higher than pretty much anybody else. On the lineup, their peak is slightly above 700 if I'm not mistaken, but prior to joining Board Game Arena, they've played a lot of online games on the iOS app as well. And they'll be playing against King Oscar 320, who has been playing only a few hundred games on Board Game Arena, but possibly same games on other platforms. Anyway, so we're going to be starting with these guys. We know that Ever is a really quick player. And probably going to finish pretty soon, so we'll have time to watch other duels as well. The games have already started, and these guys have played already 10 tiles. Ever, the starting player with the green meeples, Lycos with red. So Nick already has 4 points on the scoreboard, but Lycos gets the first monastery and the second monastery as well. Now, a tad risky, but not really. So Ever tries to start a monastery here, and Lycos is now in a bit of a pickle. He's about to get his 2 meeples blocked, unless he does something about it. But so here's the first issue. Do we go over here to try and reduce the blocking options for your opponent? And yes, says the Guatemalan. In the meantime, Green gets his road to safety on the left, starts a new city as well. Lycos equalizes on the scoreboard almost, as Ever will be picking up these 2 points from the road already. Okay, so a very interesting situation here, as Lycos has successfully defended his monastery right before Ever was going to block. It's very aggressive meepling. This city is a tad risky, but still, I would have definitely done it. Even if it gets blocked, there's still going to be 2 tiles that fit over here. There's also some backdoor options of going all the way over here and trying a big city around this monastery. In the meantime, Ever builds a city at the bottom, going for the lip-shaped pattern. And now, city cap for Ever, presumably looking at this here invasion. Yeah, Sunny, do you just try and invade here right now, or do you do something else, maybe like this, or starting a new city here, just to not give a monastery point? Because I know one thing that you've been recently starting doing is that you've been prioritizing tile efficiency a lot. So do you agree with Nick here, who just decides to start a new city in a different place, or would he have already invaded the city of Red?
I think I would likely to either invade or at least start a city next to the red city, because it's like the currently biggest threat of red in this case, and you have to do something about it. And I think a direct invasion is quite nice because the connection square is tied to red monastery, and even if it gets blocked, like you are tying 1 meeple with 2 of red meeple in this case, and I think that is the best option.
Yeah, well, he didn't go for it, and he might already pay the price now, as Lycos is 1 tile away from finishing his city. He now covers this up, meepling a 3rd monastery. It's a great position for the Guatemalan. At least Ever gets some compensation. So this square is getting blocked, as Lycos was trying to invade his city, now ruin at the bottom. So Green will be benefiting from this mini battle over here. Now, a Dorito tile for Green, probably looking to maybe do something like this, actually try and block over here at the expense of the safety of his own road, or maybe it's panic mode and already time to do something like this and try to play against that city. Curvy tile for Lycos, unable to defend, and finally Nick doesn't bother to go over here, which is interesting to say the least. Yeah, and Lycos also doesn't bother saving his city. I'm not sure what's happening here. Remember how we rehearsed? What?
That's a very interesting move.
Yes, exactly. And for the rest of you, I think you might guess what Sunny is actually thinking. Yeah, so it also seems that both players are playing really, really fast in these critical situations. There's really not enough time to assess the prioritization here. So this move, I think, was actually generally nice, by Lycos trying to block these two meeples, but this here appeared to be a much, much more important issue. Both players exchange. Oh no, that's the first big mistake for Lycos, I think, because the Guatemalan has now helped his opponent's road without helping his own city. Maybe the idea is like setting up the splitter and stuff, but there's only one of those remaining. Yeah, very tough situation here for the Guatemalan now. Although this certainly is going to help as he blocks two meeples of ever. Now, urgently, he needs to get a meeple back to score a little bit, and it's not going to happen anytime soon as Nick is blocking Red on the right. Red still has a lot of points. Red now trying to finish a shared city just to get a meeple back, and the first of the two road monasteries for ever, which feeds neatly into the square. And then you got to ask yourself, do you go here right now to just get the 9 points, give your opponent a meeple back, but then make sure that when Lycos draws a monastery in the future, Lycos is not able to take the 9 points? Or do you leverage your meeple advantage and just not do anything in this square just yet, hoping to either draw the second monastery yourself or simply keep Lycos without meeples for longer? Candidate moves would be maybe finishing a road over here or just going over here for a 7-point spot.
I don't like this move. This because like if Red draw the road monastery quick enough, he would not be getting a meeple back for that road monastery, and this move also pre-complete the monastery on top of on the top part, and it gives back a lot of meeples to Red. And with this monastery cluster, it's like seems to be a advantage situation for Red now.
Yeah, I have to agree here. And also, I think Nick might have missed this 7-point monastery spot here just because it was really the same score, but without the meeple, giving the meeples back. But none of that really truly matters, as Lycos has finished his crucial objective, the city, which both parties neglected for a long time. He finally drew the last remaining, one of the two remaining daggers, and dropped a farmer for good measure. And now it's... honestly, I'm not sure if Green can do anything meaningful in this game, really. So let's start thinking. Now, Red is, of course, in 19 points ahead on the scoreboard. Green has 2 blocked meeples in this area. Red at least now gets a meeple back from the road. And the question is, how does Nick plan a comeback in this instance? So what could be some possible scenarios for this game?
I think they still one more triple city without a road left, so attacking that city might be a good choice, but it's a very smart move from Red to try to restrict that square, so not many tiles that can fit in. For example, like this tile could already fit in and attack the square immediately if Red has not played that move.
Yeah, and I also think that with this move over here, Nick must have been thinking already about that invasion and must have been setting that up. Also, but still, a great use of a dagger tile with still 2 steady caps remaining, an opportunity to drop a farmer over here. Ever now gets the second monastery, so now we know that these 2 meeples of Lycos would have been trapped, and yeah, Nick goes here for 8 points, which makes a lot of sense. Lycos just keeps building, I think playing way too fast, because there's still a way how Red can lose this, as you said. So this move restricts the square, but it's not impossible. There's still a Dorito, for example, and 2 splitters as well. Ever. With a tile, which honestly I have no idea what to do with. Any ideas, Sunny, about this splitter tile?
With 1 meeple in hand, there's really not much he can do.
One thing is maybe about planning something for the future, like setting up something for the situation when you gonna have meeples.
I see. Then how about just placing it right next to the red curve, like this here? to prepare to meeple the field when he complete the city on top.
I like that idea. Instead, Nick chose a more conservative move, and it ends up paying off, at least in the short term, as Lyca's the one who occupies that field anyway. And he's also the one to take the first out of the 2 vanilla caps, but ever gets the second vanilla cap, so a chance to still stay in this. But Lyca's gonna come back with another 10-point city and might even drop an insurance farmer. Yeah, the stronghold on 2 fields is going to prove just a little bit too much. A curvy tile for Ever. Now surely is the time to start doing field fights. He can still get meeple back from the monastery at the bottom. Yeah, what else do you even do? Well, definitely that idea that you talked about, Sonny, earlier with the takeover of the city on the left with the Dorito tile is still alive. Both players kind of forgetting about that option a little bit. In the meantime, hi Kirillo. These are saying, I wish you no problems with the internet. Yes, this is the best wish ever. Something that we're gonna need today. So far, let's not jinx it. Things have been going relatively well. So Nick draws the tile that he wants to draw, except at the wrong time. Now, of course, he cannot go for this city invasion anymore, because if he were to go here, this square would be fully blocked. He needed to first draw the triangle for an invasion and then the Dorito, or then the triple city for the connection. So just 1 point for Nick. Maybe there was an option to get 2 points. Lycos covers up Ever's ruin for lack of better options. Well, straight line for Nick. At least it's going to be a meeple back. With this curve, by the way, it seems that green might have just given up on the idea of fighting for fields, because the purpose of this seems to be just uniting all the field of his opponents. And Nick didn't even, look at this, actually Nick didn't even bother finishing his monastery, which honestly I cannot really understand. One thing that I need to mention, and one of the reasons I wanted to watch this duel out, Nick of course is the more experienced and the higher rated player, but he's been out of the Carcassonne scene for a few months, focusing on his chess career and some other mind sports. So, given the fact that it might take him a few matches to come back into his shape, that's what's going to make this duel close and interesting. Still 6 minutes on his clock. Dorito tile available, so he did drew his crucial tiles just in the wrong order. So, Sonny, when you're dealing with positions like this one, you're clearly lost. Do you still try to find the best move possible to minimize the point difference, or do you just prefer to save the brain power for the next match, for the next game in the duel?
I will try to save some energy and play the reasonable move. I'll not just give up right away, but I will not try to think really hard to find any way to come back, because it seems to me that it's impossible to come back, because he's both behind the scoreboard and the largest feature on the board, which is the field, is already under a very strong control of his opponent.
Yeah, and it looks like this is exactly what's happening. So by placing his last meeple on this ruin, Nick is sort of throwing in the towel. I guess you can still get a meeple back from somewhere. I presume there has to be a curve 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, there's just one, I think. Gets his monastery blocked as well, just to rub it in. There's the final curve, which Nick actually needed over here to unify the fields. And it's going to be quite the upset. And a painful one. Okay, a straight line at least for unifying the fields. Cutting some damage. At the end of the day, 15 points are on the field due to 5 completed cities. Held down by the force of these 3 farmers. Alrighty, whilst the points are counted, do you want to see just how this duel develops, or do you want to take a glimpse at some other table?
I think if this is the close one, I think we can watch a second one, and also it's quick, so we might still have time to watch another duel after this one.
Yeah. So well, the one issue of it being quick is obviously because then you just like announce everything that's happening on the board, and then there's only so much time for us to chalk anything meaningful about strategy. But we'll do our best. We'll do our best. Oh wait! Whoa, whoa, whoa! 8 points only for Lycos. So it looked much worse.
He did successful to merge the field, which give him like around 6 more points.
Yeah.
And but in this
true.
case, it's like when he has his last meeple, there isn't a way to really come back from that.
Well, really, that only route that you talked about. Yeah, so maybe this for Lycos was the game-winning move, just to shut down that idea already. And maybe I think the game-losing move from Nick was just this monastery, just giving back meeples to Lycos a little bit too early, because there was this spot anyway. And yeah, rough start for the Brit, but that makes the match all the more interesting, given the fact that the UK is the favorite on paper here. So let me just check the scoreboard, because I want to check if I have automatic updates. I think I do. Yeah, nothing really has... I just wanted to... No. All good. Yeah. It's all there. We didn't need to do anything. Oh, perfect. So I don't need to touch the scoreboard at all. None of the games have completed. Only Lycos has one. But Ever is the starting player again. So this is... We discussed yesterday that this is the one change in the rules in the championship that you don't like. Yeah, there we go. Well, at least the Guatemalan gets compensation in the form of 4 points. Straight line for Lycos and for Ever. Wait, is Lycos playing from the phone? Because this capital letter is a telltale sign.
Not necessarily. Some computer have a setting which it automatically capitalize the first letter. For example, if you install something like Grammarly, it will help you to capitalize it.
Alrighty, well, Lycos drops an early farmer, which is not a very good farmer, to be honest. So first of all, this field has some potential, but there's just no urgency in it. And Nick already instantly reacts. He tries to shut down that field a little bit. But most the reason that I don't like this move is that it leaves an empty road up for grabs, which Nick might take now, but there are 3 interesting moves. So we could just take the road and go for points. We could unite our road here, or we could do something like this just to play against that field and try to play against that city. So do you like Nick's moves here, or would you have preferred the 2 other options?
I think his move is fine. I'm not sure which one is good, but I think his move is good because it takes away a lot of tiles from Red's perspective, like the extender or like the vertical splitter.
Yeah, I'm just trying to draw that here. Yeah, so I really like this. It does a lot against the space, and you know, Lycos drew a pretty decent tile, but there were many scenarios how this square could get blocked at all, and then actually just straight line plus straight line unboxes this field completely. At least what the Guatemala has going for him is that the field's already worth 9 points, so it's kind of worth the investment of a meeple. I still prefer Green in this position, even though Green's behind on the scoreboard. He's gonna soon finish a 7-point road. He's gonna develop his city. Maybe even right now, though I would be a bit more patient. Oh, it's actually a tricky tile. Yeah, so it's obviously we want to gain some points here, but how do we do this? Do you like this conservative move, just finishing the road and leaving the empty city cap?
I would rather open a new city cap in somewhere.
Like this, maybe?
Or maybe on top.
Well, opening on top, you see, the problem with the opening on top is that we can have a loop like this, and then this field gets blown out of proportion. Because if I'm ever, I'm still, like, the field hasn't reached critical mass, so I'm still looking for a way to potentially win this game with an imbalance without investing farmers. Just, for example, if green goes here with a monastery, then his position was already very, very good. Now it's kind of equal. But yeah, this move, I mean, seemed to have worked out for now, as Nick is going to pick up this empty city. I'm a bit concerned that he's thinking about this still. That is not what he would usually do. The Nick that I know clicks here in a heartbeat. But let's see if he has any other ideas. Yeah, so after some deliberation, or maybe a distraction from the real world, green starts a new city, red invades the city at the bottom. Straight line for Nick, which he's probably going to use it to pick up the road at the bottom. Really no other scoring move available. In the meantime, from the chat, we get a message from Chris Tucker saying that looks like Corelli has won by default after no-show from Illusions. So hopefully everything's okay with her. I know that Guatemala has a reputation of sometimes having issue of showing on time. So hopefully it's just that. Alrighty, so Nick finishes a 5-point road. Lycos takes out a monastery spot in rather extravagant manner, trying to build cities in his field, and I think that's the first major mistake from the Guatemalan, as this square at the bottom seemed to be much more appealing, and Lycos seemed to really not like this city for some reason. So this, using this city cap on a shared feature. Let's see what happens after this. So starting tile from ever, which is pretty interesting. I see several options here. So option one is we can do something like this. Ooh, that's interesting. And option two was starting a new city somewhere. Do you like this move strategically? Kind of making your own city more vulnerable, but then also pressuring the opponent a little bit here.
Not really. I think you can do it with another tile, but not a city cap. Like for example, a road Dorito or a regular Dorito, to keep your city shape like safer.
Yeah. You know what? There's some scenarios how, especially with this farmer, like if this city gets blocked, if this city gets blocked too, for example, with a cow tile or just a sequence of roads, then this 0-point farmer will in fact be losing a mini battle to this 1-point city, and this 3-point city would be losing a mini battle to the 9-point farm. But none of that is going to happen. Well, this city might still get blocked, but at the very least, Nick is going to invade the farm. And this is a very interesting move. Look at this. So he delays the connection to the farm. He sacrifices some equity, but this is done so that he can invest one more farmer and also protect his city indirectly, because the cow was in Lycos' hands, who could have put it over here and blocked it, but this move made it impossible. Did you see that idea?
I'm a bit lost on the idea, because I personally will not fight for a immature field in this early stage, and also with a cow tile, because it's like easy blockable. I'll wait for like a more open tile, like let's say for example a regular Dorito to do this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I agree, because like with the regular Dorito you got compensation, but I was talking about the previous move, like Nick's move, this invasion of green to begin with.
I think the problem is it gives back a pretty shaped city to your opponent,
which now was taken.
Mm-hmm.
Although this square is a little bit vulnerable, so let's see if green manages to pressure it a little bit. Surely this seems like a natural move, perhaps, or maybe even something like this, actually, trying to play against this square. Because ideally, from green's perspective, you kind of want to go here with something like a curve. No, maybe not a curve. Ideally, you actually probably want to use a vanilla city cap and then a Dorito or something like this. So it's a bit tricky for green to have his cake and eat it too. But he wants to invade this field eventually and maybe even finish the city and maybe even to block the response farmer from red. Yeah, so that's a lot of objectives for green.
But I think green is in no rush to connect his bottom farmer to the main field because it's like tied with the red farmer underneath it. So I think like green could wait to finish his city first, then bother to connect.
Yeah, so that's actually pretty interesting. And he goes for a similar idea. So he wants to first of all block this connection and then place something over here. And now it's a dilemma here forever, ever, ever. In the meantime, Lycos has turned his bottom city into a threat as this square has become protected. There are 2 road Doritos which still go there. Lycos is 1 city cap away from covering up a 20-point monstrosity potentially. So what does Nick do? If he goes here, and maybe even Meeple's the monastery, he successfully invades the field and still preserves the threat of blocking this guy, but his city is going to become super vulnerable as there is now only 1 left-handed dagger tile that fits there. The alternative is to maybe Meeple a 6-point monastery over here, controlling the city cap, but then this city here is kind of awkward and the monastery could be a bit difficult to continue, since green needs city caps for many, many other purposes at the bottom, at the top, and over here as well. And option 3 is maybe to just continue with his blocking idea and doing something like this, but then as green, I'd hate to use a value tile as just a blocker. And Nick is thinking for a long time, and rightfully so, any preferences between these moves, Sunny, or do you have another idea altogether?
I think I would just meeple a monastery on top to just simply control that tiny city cap. Like although red needs a lot of city cap already, but like whenever you draw a suitable city cap, you could still use it here. And given the situation, I think that not completing the monastery is acceptable for green because he has a lot of meeple and he done that anyway with another monastery.
Yep. So yeah, I think actually could have done. He could have really meepled both monasteries because Lycos' city at the bottom is going to give him just an enormous number of points, really. And Nick now also needs to crawl back in this. So luckily for him, it is not over. He's 16 points behind on the scoreboard, but he has a clear plan to victory, which starts with blocking this here meeple. Lycos says, though, yeah, that's also you very presciently, Sunny, mentioned about the problem of this move giving back a city to Lycos, and at first I didn't really think much of this city, but then bam bam, a couple of animal tiles and a cover up, and 20 points are added to Lycos' scoreboard. So let's try to think of comeback plans. Other than blocking this square, which seems to be necessary but not sufficient, what is Green's next order of business?
Complete the city as soon as possible with the left-hand dagger and take the 3 points curve on top and try to harass red city.
Yeah, so he goes for the block. He's not going to be successful. Lycos is successfully defending. He can even drop another farmer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's still 2 of those remaining. And Ever does get a dagger, just not the kind that he wants. And what do we even do here? So option 1 is something like this, just trying to harass his opponent, and it works at least for the short term. But Lycos is now starting yet another city, just mounting the scoring pressure. An alternative was going for the road instead, because there's this 9 points beauty waiting to happen, which neither player has spotted yet. Now finally Nick drops a farmer for insurance, which will make sure that green does have the control of the field, but ideally what green wanted to do, he wanted to not have to spend the meeple of this sort of thing. Lycos in the meantime completes a city at the top, and now life looks exceptionally hard for Ever, who he can still, I guess, as you said, get the curve, and he can still do this, but then does he even win if that happens? That is the question.
I think it's better to take the bottom city cap instead of this city for the giraffe tile.
Yeah, I think I have to agree, but I wonder. Yeah, he must be thinking of something like this. I think the plan of Nick is to later meeple that city because he wants to go for the Dorito tile and then do something here. Lycos is going to finish his city on the left. He might even drop a secondary farmer as an insurance, but this gives a bit of chance to Nick because there's still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3 Dorito tiles remaining that fit over here, and Ever does get the top, finishes the monastery. He is about to finish a 16-point city. Will he get blocked? No, he won't. Lycos gets the most inflexible tile in the deck. He's going to get 4 points and a meeple back. Will Ever finish his city? And yes, he will. And now it's a game, I think. Still, the one problem for Nick is the meeple shortage. He still desperately needs the dagger to get his 8 points and a meeple back. 30 behind on the scoreboard, roughly. Hi, Sergio. Hi, Ian. I guess one thing that he's debating is whether we go like this or whether we go the other way like this. Any preferences between the two moves, Sonny? So what was the merit of one over the other?
I'm not good at tile counting, and I have no idea how many vanilla city caps is left.
I can do it for you. I see 2 still remaining, actually. Huh. Yeah, 2 vanilla still remaining. So with this move, Lycos can quite easily score 4 points and get a meeple in that unclaimed 12-point field in the center. Wow. So the Guatemalan can actually lose this game now.
What is the purpose of this move?
I'm not sure. It looks pretty. Maybe that's why. But like, why not just claim that 15-point field? Oh no. Oh, okay. That was the purpose of the move. So, red is trying to fight for the bottom field, which seems to be a misprioritization because the bottom field is only worth 3 points. Now, presumably he's anticipating of getting a curve here and then getting the last straight line here to then use these 2 meeples to join these 2 guys and equalize the bottom field, but he didn't really need it. Yeah, so this is one of the things which I have talked with many players, and many players get this wrong. So you have 15 points at the top, right? And so you can just claim a 15-point field. Or what this move does is that it claims a maybe chance to maybe equalize a 15-point field at the bottom for the same number of points. So if you put it like this, like do you do what green did, which is take a 15-point meeple with one move, a 15-point city with one move, or do you do what red did, which is take a 15-point field with maybe 2 moves? And Nick looks like he's turning it around, getting himself a dagger, finishing the city, getting a meeple back, finally even getting a fields connection. He even meeples this road for reasons which are not understandable to me, but he's also has only 1 minute on the clock. Very uncharacteristic of Nick. Just shows how difficult position is. Scoring tile for Lycos, who's probably going to invade at the bottom. Now the straight line is likely to decide the fate of the game. Ever is still behind on the scoreboard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm double checking. Yes, there is one straight line. Nick chose to drop yet another farmer. He's really short on time. City cap for Nick is going to equalize the farm at the bottom, and he's going to deny Lycos at least one of the farms. Straight curvy tile forever. Not really many places to go. 25 seconds remaining. He needs to count whether it's okay to do this and gain 3 points that way. Just make sure that this guy does not score too many points. Who won this game? I'm not Sure, I think Nick actually might have it. I think Nick actually might have it, because this move, it was 50-50 for the game. It's either red gets this city tile and connects to the field, or reds gets the road and doesn't connect to the field. And I think we've witnessed quite the comeback here.
But is it even necessary to take the risk to place a curve there if red draws the vanilla city cap?
Yeah.
I think it's kind of unnecessary because it is only a 6-point move and
3-point move actually.
yeah, and with the control of the bottom field, he do not even have to risk it.
Yeah, actually, you know what? It seems to me that Nick may have blundered away 50% of the game. Because look at this. Obviously, like, after this move, yeah, you're right. Because, like, if Lycos gets the city cap, then he invades the main field, or what has become the main field, with 2 meeples, and wins the game pretty easily, like plus 30 or, well, plus 15 or something. But if Ever doesn't do that, then even with the tiles reversed, so let's say if Lycos were to get the city cap, Nick would not score 3 points for his field, so he would have 3 less. Lycos would have had 12 more. Lycos would have had 12 more, right? Because he would have invaded with the 3-point farmer into a 15-point field. Because again, this city doesn't count because it would not have been completed.
Mm-hmm.
Moreover, Lycos would have lost these 6 points because he could not have meepled them with the last meeple.
Mm-hmm.
So Lycos gets -6. But Lycos would have scored 4 points for this city while joining.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Lycos gets +4. But then the crucial part is that Nick would have gotten +3 points for the straight line for finishing this road. So Nick gets -3 + 3. And the Lycos gets -6 + 6. So Lycos gets +10. Which means that Nick wins still +5. So this move actually was a massive blunder. And yeah, but of course it's a result of time travel, and then we fully know that Nick can fully calculate stuff like this, maybe just with not 15 seconds on the clock apparently. And also one interesting thing that you said, like if you're down on time, then you can just intuitively see that this move is not necessary. Because it only gives you 3 points, and in that position, if you can just preserve the field that you win by more than 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, KK Spam is saying Lycos just showed how to waste a big advantage in the game with trying to fight for all fields. Yeah, this is something that many players are struggling with, and some of my viewers have called this "I can't lose the field" syndrome. And honestly, so of course, Nick had to get some critical tiles in order to win this game, obviously winning the final coin, the final dagger, but there was really no reason for Red to lose control over this game. In any case, we get ourselves a decider between the two, which is probably almost finished since it has been going on for 3 minutes. Yep, told ya. 25 tiles have already been played. The Guatemalans ahead on the scoreboard. Nick has an extra meeple. And also, Lycos has a dangerously semi-blocked meeple on the right over here. Note that now the Guatemalan finishes the city, and there's a solid 6-point farm with some potential, but burned by his negative experience from a previous game, he chooses against the early farmer. At this time, Lycos is now trying to block Nick's road, although this is exceptionally risky, as Nick could get a road monastery, but it's gonna pay off. So now, roughly even position, still a slight advantage for Nick, just because he has the longer, just because his road is going to give points as opposed to this blocked city. Lycos now saving his monastery. Ever now catching up on the scoreboard. 8 points in 2 moves is certainly a nice achievement. Curvy tile for Lycos, and now he goes for the farm. Yeah, it's an interesting move. Actually, I am not a huge fan of it. So I've noticed with this monastery build-up pattern that whenever there's a monastery, many players choose to put whatever goes into this square first and then finish this square later. But sometimes a stronger move is to do something like this so that you can build a longer road all the way around the monastery, and then you can get the straight line and have not a 4-point road, but a 7-point road on your way back. So let's see if that has any bearing on the outcome of this game, as we have a first solid farmer deployed. Nick, with a curve, is unable to continue this road because of this little semi-block by Lycos. Actually, what do you even do with it? Sonny, we need your ideas. I think this is exactly what Nick is thinking, just because it's really not an obvious place where to use it.
Maybe we should do something with the semi-block city of red, but it also creates a platform to attack the big city. But given that is the last meeple of red, maybe it's okay to do that.
Yeah, and red took the bait, and I think that was actually a mistake. Because like red's gonna think that he's not finishing the city anytime soon, although this straight line is a huge lifesaver for Lycos, as he's gonna get a meeple back finally. And look at this, Nick doesn't even bother re-attacking, he just continues the city. I think his plan is just to allow red build here. Although the decision was pretty quick. Red now ahead on the scoreboard, finishes this road, then this farm's gonna be decent, this ruin's gonna be even better. Now kind of red has a good position, really. Straight line for ever. I'm a straight line fan club. Straight line forever. Do you want to take the 4-point road on the left? Like be very aggressive? Or do you want to do something that Nick did, trying to block here a little bit?
I think I agree with his move, because I think meeple count is more important than points in this position.
Why is that?
Because like a meeple is worth quite a lot. For example, a meeple could be used to attack the bottom city, or yes, and like, there are multiple platforms for attacking the big city, and if you could like cut off one meeple of your opponents like quick enough, then it will increase your winning chance like quite significantly.
I have to agree with this, and now ever is kind of thinking whether to continue with his idea or not. He does not go for it. He gets greedy. He does not want to block. That's pretty interesting. Because he could have used this tile, right? Just as you were describing the importance of meeples, to go over here and block this one. Lycos now drops a second farmer, and Nick gets a monastery, which is very good for him. But then he connects all the farmers just to get those quick points, and I think his plan is just to forego this. And Lycos, with a great move, he finds this road pattern, which is very, very nice. Not much that Nick can do about this. So 6 points are waiting to happen. Unless, of course, green chooses to go over here, take 2 points, put some pressure. But green has his problems on his own, and he decides to create a counter field of just 6 points, but get his own road of harm's way. An alternative was also going over here for 3 net points, because that would continue his monastery. Nick gets himself a starting tile. Now needs to decide between just taking 4 quick points or maybe even going over here and trying to go for this. No, he makes a bit of a more normal move. Cleans off a city cap on his opponent's field. Dorito tile for Lycos. That is a mistake. He still does not seem to care about this platform here. Because if I'm the Guatemalan, I want to do something like this. I want to try not allow my opponent to draw an extender, for example, which doesn't exist. Ah, maybe that's the issue. You know what I'm thinking, Sonny? Like, we're running out of big tiles, so the city invasion at the bottom might become harder and harder.
Mm-hmm.
In the meantime, Lycos gets himself another monastery. Does not shy away from placing the last meeple of it. We have to agree with that. Ever. 2 points for road and the monastery meeple back. A giant lead on the scoreboard, but Lycos with all the big features. 18-point farm. And whatnot. Ever. Has 4 meeples versus 0. Surely there are some good things that you can accomplish with them. He could develop his farm at the bottom, or he could do something like this. I think a farm right here was also an option. His plan is to draw one of the dagger tiles, but he does not. He chooses to attack at the bottom, but this is the last triple city tile. There's still a regular Dorito. And a road... No, just a regular Dorito, so it's a 50-50 invasion. It is unblockable, though. So there's that. Sunny tries to harass that city a little bit, and Ever can actually go over here and... No, he can't. He can't. Hi, Matt. Hi, Glavier. Sunny, you're counting something. Would you please share with us?
No, I'm just like trying to count how many Doritos are left. And yeah, it's 1. But I'm slow.
Oh, no worries. I mean, the players have plenty of time. What to even do here? Because I think Nick's decision now is just like whether it's worth to take 4 points for the city on the right at the expense of the safety of his own city. And he chooses not to. He chooses to drop a farm, which I think is a pretty good idea because Lycos was threatening to get something over here and to drop a farmer himself upon the completion of this little city. So that's an anticipation farmer by Ever.
Why don't he like place the city in a open position to meeple the farm?
Just no squares. Oh, actually, no, there are.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, there are. Yeah, you're right. Oh, I think I know why. Maybe there was like a backdoor chance. So if you do something like this, there's a backdoor chance of going here, blocking this square, and then getting the dagger and blocking this square. So I assume this is... Oh, wait, there are no daggers. What am I talking about? 1, 2, 3. So this city is blocked. This thing is unblockable. Yeah, you're right. But it is possible that both players have miscounted the daggers in the same way as we have. Or I have, at the very least. Where did all the daggers go? Oh, yes. I think Nick drew this one. And another one at some point. Yeah, this was also his making. Anyway, 21 points is the difference. 18 points on the fields. Lycos still has to be ahead. Actually, even if Ever equalizes the ruin, Lycos has a chance to win this. As long as Nick does not draw the last butterfly tile to finish his city here. So when the game approaches its end, I like to evaluate position not by just pure points, but the number of threats, the number of critical tiles. And without even a deep analysis, it seems that Nick has a lot of going on for him. He has a Dorito, which he can use here. He has a butterfly or even a starting tile, which he can use here. So 2 tiles here. And I'm not sure where the other tiles are, but it looks like pretty much almost anything is suitable for him. He can score 3 points here right now. He can maybe score 2 points and give himself some green squares, although there's not great points in this. He scores 2 points, which is a great move, because it prevents Lycos from uniting the field and eating up the farmer of Nick. Now, if the first city finisher goes to Lycos, curvy tile for the Brits. Lycos still cannot finish his monastery. Actually, I think that was a mistake, because I think you could have just gone over here. I guess that would have been the same value of the move. I don't know. Nick again in a time disadvantage. Not something that I thought I'd be saying. Let's try and see if we can help him solve this endgame. So we know for sure that the last butterfly gives him a lot of points. In fact, the last butterfly is going to give him, first of all, 5 extra points for the completed city, 1 extra point for the road, and 6 extra points for the farm for the 2 of those. So that's going to be a plus 12 move. But the problem is now,
he only got 1 tile.
Yeah, he cannot actually go for both. And Lycos gets the first one, and now he needs to find his best move, which is actually pretty easy. Just drop an insurance farmer here for 3 points, knowing that if Nick goes here, then Lycos is gonna, yeah, so that's a miss of 3 points by the Guatemalan. Honestly, I kind of felt that was a pretty easy move. That's actually that's even a stronger miss, because look at this. All Lycos needed to do, he just needed to go over here for this soon to become 6-point farm. And then with this move, he would have gotten 2 further points by connecting to the 9-point field of ever.
Yeah.
So Lycos on his last 2 moves got 3 points instead of the possible 8. What will that make a difference? It's actually might. Oh, no. Okay, actually, never mind. So this means that Nick would have won either way, but with a smaller point difference, right? So if Lycos were to go here, let's try and think about it. So if Lycos were to go here, yeah, he would have scored 8 more. No, he would have scored 5 more because of this. So he would have been at -4. But then was there any chance at all for the Guatemalan? If he were to do something else, for example, if he were, let's say even to do this, then if he were to get this tile himself, he would have gotten himself 1 extra point on his final move.
But if he got the butterfly, he wins anyway.
Yeah?
I think so.
By he, mean who?
Red.
Red.
If he deny his opponent, because the butterfly is like 5 + 6 + 2 for green.
5, 6, 2, which is 13.
Yes, if you get it, he wins anyway.
No, actually it's 14 because the 1 extra road points.
Ah, yes.
14, right? And with a straight line, the best that ever could do is just 3. So that's 11 extra compared to what was in the game. Oh yeah, so it actually ended. So it was that the penultimate move of Lycos didn't matter. This insurance move would have given him more points, but not quite enough to put him over the edge. And then if the last butterfly tile were to be drawn by Lycos, then he would have won pretty much regardless of what he does. But he didn't, because he didn't draw that tile.
Yeah, but you can't complain about that because he already drew the Dorito. Like, green only needs one of those two tiles to win, so I think it's very fair.
Well, I mean, what do we care about fairness, right? And also, like the way you got to think about this game, just everything that has happened before doesn't matter. So from Lycos' perspective, we just drew the Dorito. Okay, we are thankful to the deck, and then then that's it. Yeah, so that's out of the question. So this means that from Nick's perspective, I guess he was winning only 2 out of 3 times on his penultimate move, because if Nick were to get the straight line, he'd be losing. Yeah, so it's also a very interesting type of position. As I said, it looked like it looks good for Nick just because Nick has so many of these critical tiles. Even with this one move, with this 50-50 chance of invasion, this 50-50 does a lot for his win probability, because now Lycos has to struggle. He needs to draw this Dorito tile just so that Nick doesn't get it, and then he needs to draw some stuff on top of that. A bit unfortunate for the Guatemala not to finish his monastery. It looked like it was pretty straightforward, but this annoying move from green thwarted the effort, and green ultimately prevailed. Yeah, well, congratulations to Nick for really climbing out of the jaws of a looming defeat in all 3 games, pretty much. The second game was a massive swindle, and the third one also required dodging a final bullet. So congratulations for the United Kingdom for winning this crucial duel. And the score, I guess, should be 2-0 now in the match, because if we get messages from the chat, if they're indeed correct... Oh, it's already 3-0. It's actually 4-0. Because let's say if we assume that Corelli wins by default, Lazy Boar has defeated Dexter 99, Ever has just won Lycos, and Lord Terry Cloth did not meet resistance from King Oscar. So the only way how the Guatemalans can make this a little bit better is on table 2, where Chini GT is playing his decider against Wallace Prime. Oh, that was quick. We didn't see the last move, sadly, but Chris Wallace gets himself the 5th point for the United Kingdom. Wait, let's just go back here. So this is great news for the United Kingdom, not so great news for Guatemala. We're gonna see that update completed very, very soon. I'm just gonna leave it here. Let's just look back at this final position, I guess, because the match ended a bit earlier than we expected. At least than I expected. Wait, where was it? Where was it? Where was it? No. Yes. Yeah, any other thing that Red could have done to maybe try and outrun that city cap move, that butterfly move from Ever, or at some point earlier in the game? One thing that I'm thinking about is this move over here. I think this ultimately was actually what cost Lycos the game. So we had this move, which was a technically 4-point move, but really a 1-point move, assuming that Ever is going to draw this tile at some point. Instead, he could have gone over here, just finish his monastery, and then whether or not to drop this 3-point farmer is a matter of taste. And what this would have done, it would not have only given a couple of extra points for Lycos, which in and of itself is not enough. It would have made sure that in the event Lycos were to draw the Dorito tile, which he did, this square would still be free, and he could have used that Dorito to go over here and block that devastating move from Ever.
Ah, yes, that's true.
Because the thing with this move, right, even though it scores, it actually protects Nick's city very nicely, because the only city cap that was remaining was in fact the butterfly tile that fit over here. And this move also by the Guatemalan was made very, very quickly. As you see, 10 minutes remaining on his clock still. So that's not an easy thing to see at all, but one potential route to win this. Yeah, and some interesting things in this match. This ruin certainly was very hard to fight against. This field was very hard to fight against, and Nick certainly was fortunate enough to draw some quick scoring tiles to compensate the farming onslaught of red. Anyway, any other further impressions about the match, or shall we start going on to a break?
Yeah, sure.
So, actually our next match is in an hour, and it's really up to you. So we can either just stay on stream and play some casual games, or we can just make a break for 45 minutes.
You can decide.
I mean, you know what, I'm gonna decide. Let's play.
Okay, yeah, let's go.
So, anyway, congratulations to Team UK. They beat 5-0. Let's just look at the tournament situation real quick. Obviously, not so good for Guatemala, very good for the UK, who now, with a very good tiebreaker as well. It's important that they won 5 duels. They're going to be climbing, at least temporarily, in first place, somehow. Yes, in first place. But obviously, Colombia and Greece still have a game to play. Greece tomorrow is playing against Chile, where Chile is going to be the favorite. The only reason why Chile is a 0 point is because they had to skip the first week. They still have four matches ahead of us. And if you ask me, Chile is probably the favorite in this entire group. Even, like, roughly even with the UK, maybe even slightly above the UK, perhaps. Anyway, that's the tournament situation. Very, very straightforward. Now it's time to fill in some airtime. And one thing that I haven't done, I mean, we could do something serious like opening study, but let's not, because we've already done loads of this off screen. I want to play, I think you and I have done this in Azul. Have we played Hand and Brain?
Yes, but how is it done in Carcassonne?
Okay, check this out. So first of all, for those of you who don't know, Hands and Brain is a concept from chess where it's like it's where two players act as one and they're trying to read each other's mind. And if we were playing chess, for example, if Sunny's the brain and I'm the hand, then Sunny would say which piece to move, but I would need to decide which square to move it to. For example, if I say rook, I can move any of the two rooks to any of the squares. With Carcassonne, let's start. You're going to be the brain, I'm going to be the hand.
Okay.
So you're going to tell me what to meeple.
Okay.
So for example, you can say city, road, monastery, field, or nothing.
Okay.
And then I need to meeple that feature on the tile, but I decide the tile placement.
Okay.
So for example, if you say city, I don't know which city you mean. Let's see how this works.
I'm glad that it's not my account.
Oh, that's fine. I really don't care about Arena. And
But
neither should you.
But you are in the second place.
Yeah, for like the 15th time in a row, whatever. Okay, so we play actually against a decent player, 1641, that what translates to roughly 400 ELO, I think. I mean, it doesn't translate to anything, but I've played with him before. Okay, please.
City?
Okay, I think I can figure out this one. You can also pre-move in advance.
City?
Yep. I think that's going to be true regardless of where he moves.
Nah, there's an exception. And not this one.
Not this one. Okay, true. Yeah, okay, a new rule, no pre-moving. Okay, I'm gonna take this one because it's the most unrestricted. It's the juiciest city. Also, obviously, our opponent making a mistake. They had to take 4 points. There's no reason to do what they did.
Road?
Okay, Yeah, so do we go here? Do we go here? I think I prefer restrictions. Actually, the previous move was pretty good. Oh my god. The previous move was pretty good. Okay, how would you like that one? Now, this one's really not straightforward.
I guess it will have to be city.
Okay, city. So we do meeple things, then I obviously gonna go for the most unrestricted square. The one thing that bothers me is that our opponents can like take a cow and then box themselves in an 18-point field with just one meeple. So that can be a bit problematic. Yeah, it looks like we're gonna need to fight for that field at some point. Okay, he dropped a second meeple, which is not that bad. Because then there are some alternatives.
Monastery.
Thank you, thank you. If you were to say nothing, that would be one way to get an emotional reaction on stream. Obviously, I use this monastery. Is the oh my god. Oh jeez.
Nothing.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, so obviously I have to continue this one. I want to take out that city cap. It is a bit vulnerable, but you know, there's yeah, of course. Take a 5-point road. Take a 5-point road. What's the problem, man?
Road.
Okay, this one's pretty interesting because I could in theory go here to just make it harder for him to block with tempo, but going over here also protects my monastery a lot. So for example, now he cannot use a straight line to block, and I think that since he has taken a stronghold on that field, I prefer going here to prepare some future monastery stacking options. Okay, the move that I'm hoping for is that he just wastes the monastery and goes here for 2 points. Thank you. Okay, this is not a bad move, but he should have gone over here, so at least we have something going.
Okay, this is hard.
Yep. Have to agree here.
I think nothing make more sense here.
Alrighty. So we're gonna get ourselves a monastery point and pre-build a city camp, but nothing. Is it this nothing or is it this nothing? Let me try and read Sunny's mind. The advantage of this is that our second monastery is intact. You see, like if we go here, then maybe we this square is a little bit sensitive. You know what? Let's do this. Let's just take it slow.
Do you prefer that I saying city or nothing for the previous move?
Nothing.
Okay. Glad to hear that.
Yeah, because they were controlling it anyway. Even if we place it at the bottom, which in hindsight might have been correct. Now, this is appetizing, but our opponent is preparing to block us. So maybe I don't want to actually do that. Oh wait, oh my god, you need to say something. Obviously,
I think I will
just forget what I said.
Leave the decision to you and say road anyway.
Okay.
It's still up to you.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. That makes sense. I'm gonna go for this road. I just want to score really and put some pressure on my opponent's monastery. And also help him with the city. Yeah, why not? Okay, this one's really for you to decide, because I feel like based on what you say, it's kind of clear what I'm gonna do. Well, almost.
Let's go with nothing.
Oh, yes. So I think it was really between this, which would have been, between this, which would have been city, but I really like this move because it saves my city. I hope that's what you meant. I mean, it saves my city, or at least it ties the fate of my city to the monastery.
What did he? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Let me actually just go full screen here.
More 3?
Yay, there we go. No need to be afraid of anything. This is actually not that bad. Oh no, we're about to get blocked. Oh no.
We don't care, right?
Well, maybe you don't.
Screw it, it's not my people.
That's the correct
city.
Thank you. Yes, I mean, like we have to obviously neutralize the threat of a 10-point city. Our opponent is going to reconnect, but that's okay because we have more time to do something about it.
Nothing in this case then.
Okay, yeah, I think that meepling this would have been a bit too dangerous, and since our opponent has only one meeple, there's no real like big danger of them. Oh, that's interesting. So they're not trying to get us blocked. We have so many options.
We have 3 people. Let's go for city.
Okay. So I actually like this move. Yeah. Well, there's also this. No, this is crazy. We need this for something else. And also we're not afraid if our opponent blocks that square, because then they will be blocking their own road in all likelihood. So we do get a city cap. Now I'm going to try and figure out where to use it exactly.
City.
City, alrighty, yeah. So what are our options? This is interesting, this is interesting. Somewhere here, maybe. Well, this looks interesting on one hand, and on the other hand as well, actually. Yeah, why not? We can at least save one of the monasteries. Is that what you had in mind, by the way?
Similar. I am leaving you for you to decide the position. I'm just like doing the.
Oh, fair enough, fair enough.
Not important part.
How could it not be important?
Nothing.
Yeah, that seems wise, but which nothing? I mean, is this a reasonable defense? No, I don't think so, really. This does not make any further sense. This is maybe okay, it takes away one okay, it's time. Yeah, it's not maybe the best move, but I just gotta do something. And it takes away a couple of tiles from my opponent.
Nothing.
Oh, too late, too late, too late. Too late! Oh, man. So this is fun, like going for a 50-50, actually. But which other... I think... I gotta get some meeples back, man. I gotta get some meeples back. This is okay, I think. But no, I'm just gonna do this. Maybe that's bad. Maybe that's bad. Okay. So they get a road.
Nothing.
Yeah, but then which nothing? Obviously not this. Obviously not this. This is an option. But I think this is a little bit better because we have many tiles to complete. We could get our monastery blocked, but it's a risk I'm living to live with. And it looks like it's going to pay off. Our blocked city is looking not at all that bad. Their farmers scoring... oh my... oof. Okay.
Nothing.
Yeah, lovely. Now, what I'm not going to do is that I'm not going to go over here, because there's no point in defending. I'd rather just protect that square a little bit and set up some sinister options. They tried to invade, which is interesting, and we have a curve and several moves.
I think let's go for the. Let's go for the road first.
Alrighty. Moving this. Just gotta pick up some points because we are so short on meeples. We really need a little bit of something. But that was the risk. But that's okay.
Has to be nothing.
Yeah, which nothing though. I mean, not this, obviously. We just need to prevent them from drawing a splitter. And it's absolutely worth... Whoa! Oh, okay. Obviously, yeah, that makes sense. So they're not invading with the second meeple, which honestly they could have.
Nothing.
Yep, nothing. Sounds fun. Now, what do we do with that sweet, sweet nothing? I guess something like this. Well, this is also not... This is not crazy. No, but I want to do something just more traditional.
Nothing.
Yeah, I figured, but wow, how do we do... Yeah, I don't know. So this is interesting, because at least we get a 50-50. And I think I'm okay with locking this. This is also interesting, because I can get myself a monastery. But I think I also want to keep the option open for the road monastery. So I'm going to block myself, and it's going to end up not worth it. We actually can still finish the city at the top.
Nothing.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what? I mean, a bit tired of waiting. I just wanna... I'm just gonna go for this and hope for this 50-50. This is probably not what you had in mind, because we're... Oh, that's great.
City.
Yeah, you sure? You sure? You sure? Okay, you're sure. Well, we can block here. We get the second splitter, which is good, which means that the second city is tied up. The move that I was thinking was going over here and not allowing him this, which I think was more important than getting here, because this we could have done later as well.
I see. City?
Lovely idea. Let's just go for this. I mean, is there a reason to leave an empty city cap? I don't think so. Because actually our position is not all that bad. We have a blocked monastery, but there's a 50-50 how we can get an easy meeple back.
Oh, wow. City then.
Yeah, lovely, right? So I mean, it did make sense from their part to block this because our city was still live. But then...
Nothing.
Lovely. Let's continue things at the bottom. Maybe I can do a bit of blocking. My road. Unfortunate.
Nothing.
Okay, so we can just build up a little bit further now. This is not a decent block. Well, actually, that's only 2 Doritos, but here there are more tiles that fit. But he needs them in other places. So I'd probably rather go here first just to not allow those Doritos. Interesting use of a monastery, okay.
Nothing.
That seems to work so far.
I think I will have to keep on saying nothing until you draw the monastery.
Probably, yeah. If I draw the monastery.
Yeah, nothing.
Okay. Actually, it's time to calculate how we're doing. So let's say we have 6 meeples blocked on cities on the left. Let's say he ties the city on the right. We have an extra monastery for 10, so that's 16. Everything's tied on the right. We're gonna presume for... We're not doing that bad. We're not doing that bad. We need the quadruple tile. We need this. Okay, maybe something like I know I'm giving him a chance to do something crazy. Okay, he just keeps building.
Also nothing.
Yeah, okay, that's great. So we deny the connection at the bottom because there are no triple cities remaining.
Oh no.
This is actually not... Well, I mean, this extra meeple back is not really going to do that much for us. Okay, now this is where things are not obvious. -6. +1. So we have +1 on monasteries. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Huh, equal. I guess I should be saying anything. Sorry, let me just think about the remaining tiles. Got it.
You're not trying to tell me, right?
No, no. When it gets to 10 seconds, just use intuition.
I guess it has to be road.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, the road is correct. Awesome. Because the remaining tiles, there are 3 big tiles remaining, and we're just gonna have roadless moves. And this was the game-winning move for us because we're currently ahead 4 points, and he cannot connect to the city anymore. And there's just really nothing meaningful.
Road.
Yeah, there we go, there we go, there we go. And this should be all she wrote. Okay, now wait. Do you see the move for their opponent, by the way? There's a way for them to get 6. Actually, no, there's a way for them to get 7.
There's still the quadruple city, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, they found it. Credit to them. So what's our move?
City denies them 3 points. Oh, no, denies them 1 point. Oh, no. They could get 3 for that. If we get 2, they get 2. If we get 3, they get 3. Are there 4 options? Shit.
10.
Road, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. And whatever is the correct answer, because
I can't find a 4-point option.
yeah, there's no 4-point option. There's just plenty of 3-point moves. Okay, so this means that they discarded the quadruple city and didn't tell us.
Okay. Ah.
Wait. Yeah, actually, we should have figured this out because we were the starting player, but they're the last to move. But you know what? I'm thinking that maybe they just didn't notice themselves.
Ah.
Because they went for that move as if there is a start. Actually, no. It's just the best move for them, regardless.
Which one is that?
The penultimate move that they made over here, like with this here guy.
No, but I mean, when they discard the tile, they know that the original tile is not used, because when we make a move, the tile change.
Yeah. Oh wait, so it's actually... Yeah, because it does impact our game quite a lot. So I'm not gonna say GG to them because of that.
Okay.
Like whenever my player does something which I think is nasty. So 3 points, nice. Great braining. Look at this. Actually, look at this. We lost this coin flip. We lost this coin flip. What else? But we still won.
We lost this coin flip. The road, the 4-point ring road.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, we lost it twice because they used it over here. And now looking back at your move, maybe going here 4 points is not that bad. I do like denying them the meeple, though. The meeple does seem to be worth quite a bit. Especially with so many road tiles that can still be there. Yeah. But then also the city turned out quite nice. We did get a lot of points out of it. And if only we had known that the quadruple tile was out, then this move would have been even much easier to make. Anyway, well, now it's 12:26 UTC, which still gives us half an hour before the next match. How good are you with touchpads?
Very bad.
So you don't want to try the reverse.
I have no idea how to control the mouse.
Okay,
to play.
got you. Yeah, because I mean, with the mouse we're having some issues at the moment, so we might leave that sort of thing for next time. Let's take a break of like 20-25 minutes.
Okay. Before
our next match, which is Malaysia versus United States. So we're gonna be there at 12:50 UTC for a preview. Let me just put a thing here, which I usually have. That one over here. Just changing the time. Oh, that's his way back from Copa America. 12:50 is fine. Also, yeah, in the meantime, if y'all have any questions for my special guest, to whom you will have still access for the next 2 hours or so, or if you want to comment on any of the moves that we made, then do let us know in the chat. But we'll come back at 12:50 UTC and let you know. I wish good things to you who's still watching this. I'm still Alexey, and with me is still Sunny, the 2024 World Champion of Azul, and I'm gonna say the best, or at least tied for the best player in Hong Kong, at least one of the two Masters from Hong Kong, Carcassonne Masters that is. And we've just done with the first match. For those of you who are just joining, Guatemala versus United Kingdom has concluded 0 versus 5. Now the other match of today, Malaysia versus United States, also has a side which is a clear favorite. The United States are, of course, much stronger rating-wise, so Malaysia will need a few upsets to overcome. But it seems to me that maybe either there's an issue of players' availability, or let me just open the teams here real quick, because I wanted to show you something. There's maybe an issue of Malaysia saving their strongest players for a little bit later, because Rambo Pang, I think, is not playing with this one. And also this year is generally 2 losses. Bubble Croman and Kaika, the 2 highest rated players of Malaysia, are not playing as well. So I wonder why that is. Maybe they've moved on to other things. Maybe they've taken a break from competitive Carcassonne. Maybe they didn't make this selection. I really don't know. So first of all, usual question for you, Sunny. Have you played any of the Malaysian players before?
Not in any of the online competition, but maybe in randoms arena game. I'm not sure.
So that's not something that you'd remember about the strengths and weaknesses of one particular player, or not?
Yep.
Alright, so let's just do our usual preview. And I assume, although you have played against some of the players from the United States.
Yeah, probably.
So we have Justin Ether admitted, Zach Bell, Sheldal, and KB15. Have you played with all of them?
I need to look at the name list to
Okay, we're gonna go pair by pair. So on table 1, we have Adrian Lex 86 of Malaysia, somebody who have now covered just a few hundred games of experience with a rating of 260, and against them is a very inexperienced Carcassonne. And by the way, Azul player Justin Etier, or Justin Ethier, who's rated 621 at the moment, but I believe they were rated even higher, maybe even at 700 at some point, with just over 1,000 games of experience. So a very quick learner in Carcassonne, somebody whose games we've covered a lot on this channel as well. Well, let me actually just do something here. I just gotta close that window. Wait. Let's just not make everything fall. How about that? Where were we? Oh, let's just... never mind. It's fine. It's fine. Where were we? Oh yeah, Justin Etier. That should be the clear favorite on that table. On table 2, we have Logang Ganesh with also around 200 rating, also under 200 games. So looks like Malaysia are renewing their players, and they're playing against one of the most active players on the entire platform across all games. A multifaceted mind sports athlete. Carcassonne isn't even their strongest game. Their strongest game is probably Stone Age. So admitted, that's Alan Zhao of the United States. He is also known as one of the participants, and in fact one of the players on the final table in the 2024 Azul World Championship. So they have that. They also have won the Azul Ring event at the World Series of Board Gaming in the United States with a hefty prize. But they're also pretty good at Carcassonne. As you see, they're rated 579 with just over 1,000 games played, which for them is really not a lot. And I suggest, because obviously I assume that with him you've played a lot, both Azul, but you must have played Carcassonne with Admitted as well.
I don't actually remember playing him like directly, like just because I played with him with many other games instead of like Azul and Carcassonne, but I do not remember we particularly said let's play a Carcassonne game today, something like that. Yeah.
Well, then we have a great chance. So this is about as closest as what we can do to that today. Let's start with his duel, and then you can at least root for him or against him. And also, now you don't have to be polite because that's your friend. You can just be completely unhinged. And instead of saying that a move is interesting, you can say what you actually mean. So please, just don't hold back. I'm sure Alan's gonna take this well. So we're gonna start with table 2. No, that's table. Yeah, table 2. Table 3, the White Kid 44, 369 and over 1,000 games of experience. So a more experienced player of Malaysia, and maybe for Malaysia to try and deliver an upset, this would be a key table as well. They're playing against Zach Bell, who is currently rated 538 with under 1,000 games of experience. Of course, they have been around the block for a few years and are still the favorite. But if Malaysia wants to do something, then this is the table that on which they could make things happen. Ernest Chia, rated 342, has been also in Team Malaysia for a couple of years. And if they manage to defeat Sheldal, who's currently rated 509, way below his peak, so maybe this is also another crucial duel. And on table 5, J14, as I'm going to guess their name is pronounced, with a very smooth rating of 333. As you see, just a Carcassonne specialist, no other games. Could try and do something against KB despite his formidable 16,000 games of experience. So for me, the potential route for victory for Malaysia seems on tables 3, 4, and 5. And even though these would be the logical tables to watch, we're still gonna just watch Admitted play and try to just criticize him as hard as possible for every little tiny imprecision. Like, if he takes a curve and turns it slightly the wrong way, feel free to just say everything that you think. So that's the plan. Elias is saying if we get Liberia to join, we can make a red-white stripes tournament. Oh yes, of course, referring to the similarities of the flags of Malaysia and the United States. Well, let's see. So we're starting in 2 minutes. In the chat, again, if you have any questions for my special guest, or if you have any suggestions for which table you want to watch after Admitted gets destroyed to 0 in 5 minutes, then feel free to let us know. All right, see. Do let us know also in the chat who are you rooting for, whether that's Malaysia or the United States. I might have more viewers from the Western Hemisphere, but it's also fun to root for the underdog as well. All right, that was an efficient intro. We can just like sit a minute in silence or something.
Yes.
I'm just gonna keep refreshing the page so that we catch the exact moment that the games are starting. Maybe also it's a good time to remind y'all to meeple the like button if you like anything about this video, and to subscribe for more competitive Carcassonne content like this. That would mean a lot. I mean, what is he playing? What's the turn-based game? Azul. Whatever. Okay, 1 point. Okay, that's great. He's in a difficult position because now his opponent's gonna grab these 3 whites for row 3, probably, or maybe not. Maybe he's gonna take this first. Anyway, no. He's gonna take this first. Oh, that's interesting. Anyway,
after taking 2 black, if Admitted like pick 1 yellow, then the 5 whites will be grouped and a little bit.
I like if Admitted goes here. Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah. Oh, maybe then we take the 2 blacks here, and then we just eat the floor line. And if Admitted takes one black somewhere, then we can deny him row 2 somehow, maybe. I don't know.
Or we delay the fight for white and black and take a red first.
That is also possible. Anyway, so this is something that Bruno can think. Yeah, so this is not... anyway, but we hope that they succeed in defeating Alan. Look, Alan has slipped like 100 rating points. He used to be over 800. Anyway, going back to this... The game has started between Admitted and Logan Ganesh. Okay, so Logan gets the starting player advantage, which is exactly what they're going to need if Malaysia is to deliver this upset. Roughly equal position. Malaysia playing with red, United States with black. A city open to the left, an 8-point city waiting to happen. Logan is starting a new city, perhaps unnecessarily, but that's okay. We just hope that they're gonna get the right tiles. Admitted with a 4-point monastery, now a 5-point monastery, but Logan the first on the scoreboard with 5 points for the road. Still cities waiting to consolidate. Admitted threatening an 8-pointer, now gets a curve and looking to start a new road perhaps. So there's several moves. He could just go here, start a new road. He could go here, start a new road. The strongest move in my view is to go here and start a new road like this, hoping for a 6-point loop, and he finds it. Okay, that's actually kind of impressive. Logan, in the meantime, is going for a very big city, but at a price. He allows Alan to complete an 8-pointer and retake the lead on the scoreboard. But Logan, in the meantime, is really building up. He is threatening a giant city. Also, this 0-point farmer is rather ambitious. Well, let's see how Alan deals with it. But also a splitter is a bit of a threat for Logan to finish at least the small city and then keep working with that guy. Who do you prefer in this position, Sunny?
Obviously, Admitted position.
Well, yeah, because he had it on the scoreboard, and just his meeples are so much better placed. The 5 points on the monastery. Well, what do you recommend here for Alan though? Because it seems that starting a new city makes sense, but then the city is kind of vulnerable, and Logan might deliver some pain, but he doesn't. He really wants to finish the city, but I think too fast. Alan is going to deliver the pain here by blocking, well, not blocking, just restricting the Malaysian. Now a curve is a bit of an it's a fortunate draw because it allows him to extend this 0-point farmer and kind of justify it. Then the farmer is now scoring 3 points. It has a couple of green squares. Admitted though now needs to make a decision. Does he simply want to finish blocking the square, or does he want to try and invade it and get a second meeple in? And if he wants to block, does he go here first or here first? Alan decides neither, so I'm gonna leave you to comment on that decision by Alan and let me know what you think about it.
I think Alan should try to break the city instead of connecting, because it's already 3 red meeple in this case. If he could just get rid of the upper part of the situation, like for example break it further with a cow tile. It's a cow, not a horse, right? And
Yeah.
make the whole city like incompletable is already very good for him, because like it not only like tie all the meeples of red in this city, but also like reduce the farm meeple of the red one.
Yeah, that's right, because like this red, by the way, also like a kind of smart move trying to extend the field a little bit. Yeah, Alan is doing exactly this, and Logan now needs to defend, but does he know this? And he does know this. Okay, there we go. 75% city is waiting to happen. And let's see how desperate Alan should be here. Because, like, do you just ignore everything and score 3 points here, or 3 points here, or 3 points over here, or just finish this road? Or do you really, really want to block so hard that you sacrifice all the points and do this just to restrict this square?
I think I will take the points for now for several reasons. The first one is points, and this is not the best tile to go here. This is like better for a city plus road tile. And secondly, even if the city is completed, he still have other chance to come back, and there's no rush to use a scoring tile to do the blocking here.
Yeah, I think so. So your suggestion is reducing the variance a little bit, because I think Alan, with his lead on the scoreboard and with the better monastery, if he were to just take 3 points, okay,
Oh
that
no.
that has to be a mistake. Like, yeah, if he were to just score 3 points, then even if Red finishes the city, Alan's position is still playable. But could you please comment on why this is a huge mistake?
Like, because he could like equalize one of the city on top and leave it with a dangerous situation for two of the meeples of red, and it also greatly reduced the size of the potential completed city. And this move has no rush because it only adds 2 points to a possible completed city, but it doesn't even improve the position of that city that much because it's already attackable from one side anyway.
Yeah, if anything, it actually makes the position slightly worse because Red can finish his city with tempo, get a straight line here, then block the square. Yeah, the reason why this move was so important, by the way, and by the way, also Black's move here isn't helping necessarily. The reason why this move was so important is just because there was only one dagger remaining, I believe, so that would already greatly reduce the chances. Red now gets himself a monastery, so that's almost an all-in investment trying to hit the jackpot with horse tile here and with the curve here. Of course, he can still finish the city, get a meeple back. One important thing that you said about the reducing the size of the city, because there are some scenarios, well, at least before this move, how Logan can get a cow here, a road Dorito here, and make an even larger city for like 8 or even 10 points more. So yeah, this has to be a big mistake, but so far Alan is still doing just fine with 7 points extra on the scoreboard, 3 meeples extra, and if he plays his cards right, he should be fine, even if he loses the big city. And also, so far he can afford luxury like this. He just takes 3 easy points. And there we go, the city is covered up. So this means that this move here, all that this move did was just waste 3 points. So does this mean, like, if Alan loses this by 3 points, we will know exactly why. Logan with a quadruple city tile, only one reasonable move, and admitted, is going to get bailed out from his dangerous city at the bottom, going to finish for 6 points, drop a farmer. So for Logan, the situation is pretty difficult. He needs to get himself some sort of meeple back soon enough. He continues his city at the bottom. Actually, so far, I think Red is playing pretty well. Like, the initial idea with the city was, of course, dubious, but once the city has been covered up, things are looking quite fine. Now Logan presumably is going to use the curve, not there. Oh, no. Yeah, that I think so far is the biggest mistake of Red in this game. Because of course, I see why he doesn't do that. Okay, I can understand. I see this now. I think he does not want to connect the farmers. The problem with this idea by Red is that actually connecting the farmers is good for him, because this farm on the right has in fact just as much as potential as the farm of the left, and as Red you just want to get a meeple back. On the other hand, maybe Red figures out that by keeping the field separate and small, he can try and kind of mitigate the meeple disadvantage that he has, because if there's a big field, he can lose the big field pretty easily. And maybe his logic is that if he finishes this big city, he's going to get 2 meeples back, and if this square somehow gets blocked, he can still survive this just because of how many scoreboard points he's going to get over here, and the 2 meeples back are apparently enough. So maybe that wasn't necessarily an oversight, maybe that was a purposeful ignoring of this square.
But I might place the curve for a setup even if I do not place it in my monastery, like setting for the horse tile to complete city.
Like this. There we go. And the plan, of course, is to get a city cap first to get a meeple back, and then when we get a horse tile, then we get 4 points extra. Yeah, so that's actually a very nice find. In the meantime, Logan is trying to extract as much value as possible from meeple-less moves, going over here, making it harder for Admitted to continue his road. In the meantime, the American is just building up a new city on the right, and this should be a very difficult situation for Logan. He needs to get a city cap or the cow tile soon enough to get a meeple back. Straight line for Alan. He's getting help from the chat, as I see mostly supporters of Team USA are there. And Admitted now gets onto the farm, trying to anticipate one of the 4 remaining curves to take away the field from red. Yeah, so this is also sometimes how you play against a big city. You just cover it up, not cover it up, but try to harass it. And if your opponent covers up and they wait for a critical tile, as they are in this case, so they're waiting for this cow, no, the horse. With the temporary meeple advantage that Black has, they can take a stronghold on the field, and then even if Logan gets his 3 meeples back, it might be a bit too late, and then Logan might not have enough time simply to leverage his meeple advantage into something tangible. Admitted can just keep inflicting suffering. Like, he doesn't even have to go for farms. He can just go for a 4-point monastery over here. He does go for a field defense move, some prophylaxis. Actually, it's a nice spatial idea. It takes out 2 invasion platforms. It also makes it much harder for Logan to bother his city. So a nice find here from the American. Logan just makes a move which maybe is not great. Could have gone over here at the least, maybe heard this one. Or maybe it wasn't even crazy to continue the city at the bottom. But the reason why Red didn't want to continue the city at the bottom is because if you were to go over here, then there is a chance for Alan to invade that city, and that will be absolutely tragic for Logan, who now has a curve. Alan also has a curve and continue his road. What does Red even do here? I guess your initial suggestion, right? With the pre-building.
I think so.
I think he does not see it. Oh, he goes for... That's honestly is not that bad, except that he should have turned the curve the other way. Yeah, he's just trying to score a little bit more, and that makes a lot of sense. If only he were to turn this road a different way. Admitted now with the road monastery, which was heavily needed by Logan to get himself a road meeple back. And Alan is going to get 7 points up top, I presume. I hope that he does not use this as a farmer. No, there we go. Actually, yeah, Alan is playing pretty well. Finally, the horse tile, and Logan gets a 26-point city and a meeple back, and now only 8 points behind on the scoreboard. So this ain't over. Admitted with the cow tile. Can't really use much. He could develop his city on the right. That's one idea. Another idea is to go the city is to try and break red city at the bottom, but then the risk is that red draws city caps and then we just enlarge that city. A peaceful option 3 is just to go over here and try to pre-build the city for the moment where we draw one of the 2 remaining field Doritos, go over here, finish our monastery, and meeple this ruin. So Sunny, do you prefer the peaceful pre-build, the aggressive break, or whatever that was?
I prefer continuing the city, but in a different way, like in this way. Yeah.
Yeah, I presume that'll be more standard, because now it's kind of hard to finish this unless Alan explicitly is going for the 1 Dorito 2 city cap pattern. But then no. This is just better, right? Because you can go here and you can do the same thing really.
Yes.
And we see that Logan finishes the city, drops a farmer. Alan is now trying to complete his city, but Logan scores 4 points while also obstructing this square a little bit. For the first time, Logan is ahead on the scoreboard, but Alan gets a dagger tile, which he probably going to use to bring his city 1 tile away from completion. Only 3 minutes for the American. The Malaysian has been mounting up the time pressure. And will Logan manage to invade the city? No, not yet. Or block the city at the very least. He chooses to take 5 points. Honestly, this has to be the best move. Even if Alan completes his city, it's a 6-point move even. Ahead on the scoreboard, admitted with a Dorito tile. He's gonna drop another farmer somewhere? Is he going to maybe cover up the city somewhat? Or if he's going to meeple a new city on the left, I think that was even better. He's covering up the city. I believe there's still tiles left to complete this. At least 1 butterfly I see, and there's something else as well. Yeah, there's a dagger and stuff.
I think I would cover up the farm with the Dorito instead of going for the city. Like, because now red still could bring his red farmer in, but with the Dorito tiles there, he could already not this side.
Like this, yeah. Yes. Well, I guess red can do something like this still and go through that side, but that certainly would reduce red's options. Like this and maybe with another Dorito over here. I do like Alan's move though, because the city's harder to break, and there actually is a surprisingly high number of tiles that still fits. 3 tiles if I'm not mistaken. 1 starting tile, 1 butterfly, 1 left-handed dagger. And Logan just needs to do something about this. Probably just score. And then maybe do something like this. But he's not a very experienced player. Like, so far, I think he's, holding his own. Yeah, he goes for the farm, which is a bit too slow. But admit is going to finish his city. So I guess we all both need to eat up our words. That was apparently a genius combo. Trying to build the city like this. So yeah, we need to rethink our choices in Carcassonne. Admit is only 5 points on the scoreboard up, admittedly. And Logan still has a chance to win if he just gets curves. Because note that Alan has not yet unified all the field. Logan has a 6-point field, has a 9-point field here. It's kind of working all the way through the right side. Alan has a lengthy field here for 18 points. But this guy, the red guy, is scoring 12. Red also has a reasonable road and a reasonable ruin. So I believe red is only slightly behind. The main problem for red is, of course, meeples. And wait a second, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's only 1 curve remaining. So if red gets a curve, red can actually use the curve to maybe invade black's field even somehow, like this, and then keep the square closed and then enjoy the victory points. And Alan only has less than 2 minutes to solve this endgame. Oh, thank you, Elias, for correcting me in the chat that the left farm is 9 points because this city is not part of the farm. It's also another way for Logan to use a curve productively. If Logan gets the curve, he can go over here for 1 point and drop a farmer for 6 points. So that's a potential 7-point move for the Malaysian. Okay. A curve for Logan, and he does do exactly this. He goes for a 7-pointer. This square is officially blocked.
Why did Emitter put the straight line there? What is the purpose?
I presume to block some sort of field connection. How this helps admitted, I have no idea. You tell me. Like, as Alan, probably the reasonable move was just to take this for 6-point farm with anticipation. Like, Alan really, or just to go here. Like, this is not bad at all. We just go here, try to invade like this. I think this move was based on the time. He just figured that he just there's not enough time. He needs to do something.
But
And
2 towers left and 2 meeple. It has to be meepling something for the straight line.
yeah, I believe it might have been a miss. And he's going to meeple the farm.
But there's no tower fits the square, right? Or there's a vanilla cap.
I'm not sure. I don't think there are any vanillas. There aren't any vanillas. There isn't anything. I think Alan just went for the 3-point farm. Yeah, he gets this ruin as well, so he just scores as much as he possibly can. Ah, this one. Alan could have scored even more if he were to take the starting tile here. I'm not sure who won. It's gonna be close, and like already massive respect for the Malaysian player for holding his own against one of the best Azul players in the world. And okay, so 6 point for this farm, 9 point for the farm on the left. Admitted has the main farm for 18 points. Logan has the bottom farm for 9. And Alan has 3 teeny 3-point farmers that are going to give him the win by 2 points. What a game. What a game. And also, Logan actually had still a chance to win this. If after this move by Alan, which appears to have been a mistake, if Logan's last tile were to be the starting tile, if his penultimate tile were to be the starting tile, he could go over here, score 3 points for this completed city because it's on his field, and then this would also deny Alan this here move. Alan would have been forced to take 3 points instead of 4. Logan would have had 2 points extra, so Logan would have won by 1 point. And yeah, so that's interesting that the Malaysians still had chances. So this table or another one?
You can decide.
I mean, there was 2 points. It's as close as it gets. We have to keep watching. Okay. Let's just real quick check how others are doing. So Sheldal has won game 1 against Ernest Chia. That's a crucial duel if Malaysia wants to deliver an upset. Again, tables 3, 4, 5 are the most important one. But then we are going to just keep poking at Alan here. Will he able to win the second one? Well, he gets the starting player advantage and he gets an early 8-point city right there in the center. Logan, however, the first man with the monastery and an early farmer as well. It did burn him a little in the first game because he was without farmer for so much. Eventually that farmer ended up scoring 9 points, but at quite the cost. So we know that Logan likes big cities, and we can see how it manifests itself right over here as he invades Alan's city, and I guarantee he's going to invade with 1 more meeple. But will Alan do them? That's the question, because Alan could just peacefully go over here, start a new city. He could also go over here, start a new city, and also prepare his loop, but open up the position. Or he just go over here, take 3 points for the road, or start a big city fight. So do you like Alan's move, or were other options your preference?
I might turn it the other way to sacrifice a little bit of safety, but for a more efficient loop row scoring.
Ah, like this basically.
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting, but I actually like to sacrifice some efficiency here. So I agree with Alan's move, and the reason is because of this early farmer. Because this loop over here would just open this field so much, and because of this here cow, there are actually not that many green squares for the development of that field, and Alan apparently is trying to prepare some other farming options and trying to box in this poor little red guy.
I see. That's the thing that I haven't considered because I'm not very good against early farmer.
Yeah, look at this. I think he's really thinking about the farm here, because it was a reasonable move to start a new city somewhere else. It was a reasonable move to just finish his old city on the right. Logan is trying to create a big city, which worked out for him well in the first game. Let's see if in the second game is just as good. Yeah, this move, it's just restricts the field so much. And even if a monastery goes over here, monastery and then bam 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 like this, a little box, but a road monastery is much better. That's a fantastic tile for Logan, not only because it's a lot of points, but also because he's gonna go over here, score a 5-point road, and then this farmer goes all the way outside of the box and then just becomes unhinged. You could say that this farmer receives a shipment of fertilizer. Admitted, with an obvious move, keeps wasting his time. Okay, finally he. Okay, do you wanna? Do you have any thoughts about that move, Sonny?
Unnecessary?
Yeah. There's really no justification for leaving the city cap open, and these sort of moves, just having very high value tiles like splitters and then wasting them like this, is something that I see a lot from typically a bit lower rated players, like between the layers of 500 and 4 and 500. From Alan, like, I expected a little bit better, but you know, it is what it is. So far he doesn't get punished. Logan with a very interesting monastery, which I rather like because it also covers up quite an important square for the field development. And now at least, we don't know how this game is going to end, but at the very least the red farmer is going to survive. Slight imprecision here, as I think these 3 points were better, but you know, we're not here to pick on Logan, we're here to pick on Alan. So he doesn't get punished, he gets the city cap undeservedly. And he's 5 points ahead, 15 points ahead on the scoreboard. Still, Logan has massive monasteries, and he's now going to fight for the big city, and he's probably going to succeed. Alan, with a Dorito tile. So do you want to go here and try to play against the city? Go here to pick up the empty city cap, or learning a lesson from last game, reacting promptly and just going over here for a re-attack?
I will take the empty city cap.
I do like the empty city cap too, because, you know, because just for efficiency, and also the idea is that we can maybe outrun Logan completing a big ruin, perhaps, given our advantage on the scoreboard. And also we want to eliminate that city cap because Logan has only 1 meeple, and so they won't be able to use meeples for a lot, and that's why these quick points, these 4-point moves, are super valuable for red. But you know, Alan never listens, so he did what he did. Which, okay, like, we're just messing. It's a perfectly reasonable move. It actually accomplishes a lot. Like, if he gets a city cap, this is also pretty good. Although he's gonna pay a price for this. Logan's now gonna connect, and he's gonna cover up the square, and he's also gonna start hurting Alan a little bit. But Alan, I think, makes a mistake. Or do you like this 4 points here, Sunny?
I think there's no problem to take the 4 points here, but like defending that square should be better because 3 starting tile is out.
Yeah, and like, and also if you go here, you're threatening a much larger city. In the meantime, Logan always placing his last meeple on the farmer. This should be fun. So Logan is just placing his last meeple, but here it is justified because you can get a curve pretty easily to get a meeple back. You can get a straight line to get another meeple back.
But the farm is not that important in this stage. Like, how many value are he losing for placing this last meeple here? Like,
not a lot actually, because you are getting
Like 4 already? Oh no,
No,
there is
no. He got value. He covered up his city from invasion, and now he also covered up his city, and there is a 50-50 chance of him drawing the last starting tile and completing a 30-point monstrosity. Yeah, like maybe we should start building cities more, because like at the highest level, people typically don't do that because it's quite easy to invade these large cities. But for the second game in a row, it just works. So, city cap tile for Alan. I mean, I presume just stake 4 points somewhere. And this is exactly what he does. He also cleans off a city cap in his opponent's field, and he is also putting a bit of pressure on both of these squares. And Logan actually does not get great options here. Alan's probably going to try and break his monastery, though this monastery is kind of broken. Or Alan's going to go here and drop a farmer on one side, then on the other, and then overtake this field. So do you like this, Sunny? Do you like Admited's farming move, which is about to happen, or would you have preferred blocking first and farming later?
It's hard to tell because Red is going to get a meeple back very soon, no matter he get a curve or any road tiles. And using one meeple there isn't that bad, I would say, because if Red is going to take back his monastery with a curve, it also gives Alan a meeple back.
Yeah, that's true. And the meeple count seems to matter in this game because the field is only gonna grow. You know, I think maybe Admitted missed a bit of an option. Once Logan had reinvestment on his second farm, by the way, admire the courage here. Oh no. And now we know Alan's strategy, and this is just to draw all the starting tiles in the deck, to not use it to defend his square when it was important, and then just to use it over here. So this is something that y'all can learn from. Just draw starting tiles and maybe don't get preoccupied about strategy. That is how you can win this. Well, actually, you know what? Red can probably do just fine. I think it's a bit of a psychological damage, but his blocked meeple is also scoring points. He's now going to get 8 points for his city to make it closer on the scoreboard. He can still get himself a curve to get some meeples back. He still has the control of the field. Alan still is yet to continue and complete the city at the top. So if Red manages to block Black at the top, Red should have good chances. Alan covers up his city, but that square is kind of vulnerable with all 4 tiles having gone out. Logan decides to give everybody a meeple back. The position now opens up. The scoreboard becomes a little bit closer to even, both sides with 2 meeples apiece. Straight line for Admitted, a difficult decision. So does he go over here, bringing his 6-point farmer into the field, and meeple is 4-point road, but also give Logan a meeple back to immediately try and reinvade this field? Or does he just leave us alone and try to preserve a smaller... Ooh! Or does he...
Another one.
Yeah, there we go. Does he go over here and drop yet another farmer? And then he wait for one more straight line to go over here and just win this. The problem is that there are only 2 of the straight lines remaining, so that would be a 75% chance roughly, but in Black's position, which is pretty good overall, is 75% good enough? Yes, says Alan. And I have to agree. That's actually a very nice spot by the American. Um, Logan is going to meeple the monastery, which actually makes sense, because Logan is really not struggling for meeples. If Admitted gets a straight line, which he does not, because Logan gets a straight line, so there's only one remaining. So let's see if Adam gets straight. Wait, Adam. What am I doing? Meeple back for Alan. Yeah, the point is, so if Black gets a straight line, then Red immediately gets another meeple to play with, and maybe they can reinvade. Red, in the meantime, building a monastery on the left. They're scoring. And Admitted now will probably try and build up his city, or will he wait for the last butterfly? Or a dagger? Or will he just maybe start a new city over here on the left, just create multiple threats? Or will he just say, I don't care about everything, and maybe just go for a ruin? Or will he make some sort of spatial move, maybe going over here? This is in order to deny Logan some sort of a farming reinvasion through the outside of a curve like this. Plenty of options for Black.
I think definitely not continuing his city on top, because it has a common square with Red Monastery. It's better to stay there. Like, if it gets down, it is fine for Alan, I guess. But if he like continue his city and his city got like attacked, and in the very next move Red Monastery gets completed immediately, then he's in a bit of trouble. That's why I will keep the situation like that for now, except when I draw a tile that complete the city.
I have to agree, and credit goes to Alan for finding, I think, the best move out of all the options. You know, like when it's only 14 tiles remaining, it's difficult to pull the trigger on the principle of two cities when it no longer applies. Logan going for the farmer just in time as Alan connects in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Logan just getting the inspiration to reconnect immediately, and he does it. What a sequence from the Malaysian. Like, and also, like, what an amazing board vision for somebody of this rating. I'm pretty sure the actual playing strength must be higher. They managed to equalize, and they're ahead.
But is it necessary for Alan to use the straight line there after Red has played that move?
Actually, yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. Well, you know what? Oh, no, yes, it is. Because then Alan was losing the field. And now at the very least, he's tying.
But
no, Alan was losing the field on the left.
Yeah, he loses the field on the left, but he gets 6 and 3 as compensation because the red farmer got 0.
Oh, yeah, good point. Well, but you know, but you can't lose a field. You're not allowed to lose a field in Carcassonne.
What?
If you, because field is everything. Winning the game doesn't matter. It only matters if you get the field or not. Anyway, Alan gets himself his last meeple, and Logan finds his block. The city on the left is not going to be completed. There's 0 starting tiles remaining. So Admitted, now with the curve, it's not an easy move. He could get just a 1-point move near the monastery, but I think the chances for him to win this game lie in the city on the left. He needs to get that city and complete it and get a meeple back. How else does he win? Admitted is ahead 3 points on the scoreboard, but Logan has way more points on the ruin that was blocked unfairly.
And is the monastery really necessary to go with a meeple?
You mean the last one? Maybe. Yeah, maybe he's just trying to score whenever he can. You mean Black's monastery, right?
Yes.
I think it makes sense because that's a scoring tool. Logan, I think, is making a slight error, but Alan successfully gets himself a meeple back. Logan does not have a meeple to play with. He really would like a crossroads, sadly, which does not exist. So all red needs to do is try and, I don't know even do what. I think red can still win this. Like, that city in the center is pretty big. But Admitted now makes a great move, scoring 3 points and setting up other scoring opportunities. Logan, of course, needs to take one of these opportunities out. Or maybe Logan can just take 1 point for the road and also drop a city cap in his field, hoping for, I don't know what. Okay, now this is actually a difficult calculation. So, Sunny, your first instinct, do we go here, add a point, like this, or do we take out the road, or do we take out the city cap? Because Admitted just benefited from this 3-point road.
Probably take out the city cap if there's still any city cap remaining.
I don't think so.
No, then probably add a point.
Well, there is still actually, there's this guy, I think, the divider. So Logan's move is probably to go here. Just take out the sequence where Admitted scores 4 points and then drops a 6-point farmer.
But it doesn't matter. Like, Admitted will take the rune with a city tile anyway.
No, but the rune is 7. But Admitted has a chance to score 4 points for the city plus a 6-point farm, which is 10.
But it requires very specific combo. Like, for example, this one, he need to meeple the rune, I believe.
Well, now he needs to meeple the rune, but like from Logan's perspective, you still gotta take care of the worst case scenario.
Is he leading?
I think Logan was leading until this move. And he's gonna have himself a
Because the probability of Admitted first draw the splitter, vertical splitter, then draw a city tile is kind of like, no, but they're all city tiles.
Yeah.
That's why. I see.
Well, anyway, it's gonna be close because like Logan has a lot of blocked points, and I think though Adam scored so much for the quick points that he should be ahead. Yeah, 5-point difference. Devastating for Logan, and GG indeed. Logan was very close to delivering the upset in 2 games, and I'm really glad that we picked this one to watch, because if we were to just see the score 2-0 in statistics, we would probably think it was super one-sided, but it really, really wasn't. Yeah, Admitted is saying, well played. I think with a lot of merit here. This farmer's excellent board vision. This was a huge threat. Nice blocks over here. But credit to Alan as well. This defense is probably what helped him win. Just realizing that there were a lot of regular city caps remaining, then setting up the quick points and bringing this one home. So yeah, not really sure what Logan much could have done. Maybe, I guess, like Logan, a crazy sequence for Logan was maybe to hope to, with this tile, to go here, and then hope for a combination of, I know that wouldn't worked.
No more straight lines.
No more straight lines, yeah, no more straight lines. Yeah, then I think just red was toast after this move.
Oh no, yes.
And then this idea was super, super nice by Alan. Just so many quick points. Alrighty. Congratulations to Alan and Team USA for getting a not easy, but an important point. And the match is actually closer than we made seem. We have an upset of all places on table 1. So Justin Ether slipped up against Adrian. On table 3, Zach Bell and Sheldon are ahead in their respective crucial duels, but on table 5, J14 has defeated KB15. So, whom do you watch? Do you watch maybe the highest rated Malaysian player, or do you watch the Malaysian player who actually managed to win?
Maybe the one who managed to win.
Alrighty.
Because rating doesn't matter.
Alrighty. So, J14 with a spectacular. Wait, what about him? Did he just finish playing? Oh, they're gonna play a decider, so they have just concluded their second game, and the third game has not started just yet. So we will be able to observe it in its entirety. The first one must have been interesting, with only a 1 point advantage for J14 against KB. And there we go. Okay. Wait, he was playing against KB, yeah. I don't get this. Somebody's about to forfeit their duel.
Not really. Maybe one have entered the table and another have, and there are 5 minutes time bank for that.
Well, yeah, but maybe, you know, like sometimes it happens with these tournaments that, especially if you're newer to these formats, you can just like not notice the notification for the next game. Because if you stay on the final position of your previous game, and maybe if you discuss something with your opponent, if you don't actually exit that page, then you never know that your third game has started.
Yeah.
So maybe that's like a tactic from KB. Maybe he just like talking and doing a post-mortem analysis, but he opened another tab and already entered the new game.
What will be the consequences for not enter the duel in this one?
Automatic loss.
But both players are online. Is it still count as a loss?
Yes.
For that?
Yes, it counts as a loss.
Okay.
So the rules are really, really harsh this year.
Okay.
But both players have in fact entered. J14 is playing the correct color, blue. And KB is also playing a reasonable color, black. He's also ahead on the scoreboard as a result of these 2 points. J14 is the starting player, so he is going to be having the statistical advantage here. Now, that's an interesting moment. So how aggressive... I did not expect that. I like that. At this level, I would expect players to make a simple move. Like, careful there. Like 4 points, like just a 1 point. But he goes for the full aggression mode. He takes 3 points with a second row of meeple and now creates an attacking platform against this city. And now it's justified. Like he's gonna meeple this. He's thinking, okay, he didn't. But I would
just add 1 point to my road for that tile. It's a bit risky to take the 3 points, I would say, because you can't effectively create an attack from top on the city, because it also like create an attacking square for your road, which is already like have a road on the side. And why did Black equalize this road? Is controlled by Blue Monastery.
I think it was a pre-move. Like sometimes you just so he drew a curve. So I was thinking, curve equalize road, curve equals good. And then kind of just like not looking what J14 was doing and maybe not realizing that the monastery was meepled there already.
Okay. But even if the monastery aren't dead, it's not really a good idea to equalize just take 1 point for the curve.
I mean, I know that, right? But maybe KB is having some... I'm not sure.
Yeah, and I also don't like the straight line to try to attempt to block Black tiny city piece, because it gives a road with a road end here. Yeah,
but you know what? Like in this case, with two rose tiles already gone out, maybe that's not that bad. One thing that I would have loved to see there from Blue is a farmer. Well, that would have made a lot of sense, because a potentially a 12-point farmer, well, only a 9-point farmer really, because he's going to lose his city over here. Although he's going to get some compensation. He's going to get this monastery point. He might even build up here or here. He might go at the bottom and try to continue with this idea that he started. So one thing for J14 to be concerned about is that now that he has the long-term meeple disadvantage, now that this is blocked, Black has just meepled a very open field potentially, and also Black is now trying to block him further, and J14 cannot defend. I mean, he probably just has to finish this road, but then losing a second meeple is going to be difficult. 4 points for the Malaysian. KB does not get a tile to block, but he gets another good tile. JX defends. Curvy tile for KB. He tries to go for that sneaky block, but it doesn't work. JX, of course, is going to finish the city with a farmer, the big go. But does he know about this stuff? No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't, sadly. Yeah, that city cap is unnecessarily vulnerable, so he's going to miss out on some potential value. Yeah, and KB is now going to abuse him, but now...
With a farm.
I know. Well, now. Oh, no. Okay, so somebody in Malaysia... well, there's the thing, like, the most experienced players in Malaysia are not playing this year, so... I was going to say either Bubble Chroman or Kaika needs to teach Blue this stuff. That, like, leaving city caps open is a bad thing in the opening, but since we're in the middle game now, leaving a city cap is really not that big of a deal. However, since Blue has invested with a second farmer, it kind of seems to me that it's still not a bad position for Blue at all. Like, Blue needs to realize that he's actually quite cooking here. If Blue gets Monastery, then this field can be conceded quite easily to Black, and then Blue is going to have the meeple majority to do something meaningful in other parts of the board. Also, this tile draw of the last butterfly tile is certainly going to help, as this means that the main risk that you were apprehensive of, Sunny, of Black going over here and taking a 3-point road has been greatly reduced. Not the best use of that tile perhaps, but that's okay. JX with a Dorito tile. Looking to do what exactly?
What is this?
This is commitment. This is heart. This is not being afraid to smile in the jaws of risk. So he is unnecessarily, of course, but he's going all in for big city. Seems to be a theme in Malaysia. Now, this sadly, of course, greatly reduces JX's winning chances. The thing, first of all, he has put himself without a meeple, which is completely unacceptable because he really needs a meeple to score 9 points for this monastery. KB, in the meantime, confirms your worst fears or your second worst fears. Sonny, he drops a 9-point farmer after completing his city, and as soon, and I'm pretty sure that the 4-point road is next to come. Yeah, but the thing about this move is actually it's not that bad in some circumstances, because you very often get a triple city tile before your opponent obstructs. But then you don't really have to risk this hard in order to win the game, because J14's position was just fine. Like with this move, you could have simply gone, oh, this has to hurt. This has to hurt real bad. He's going to lose 9 points. A meeple back is great, but the 9 points. Pain. Still, 6 points ahead on the scoreboard for Blue. Hi, Alan. Congrats on the win. So we were rooting for you, and we're being very, very supportive in our comments. And there were a couple of imprecisions maybe in some moves, but we tried to be very diplomatic in pointing them out. In the meantime, JX is creating a decent sized city. That's already like 10 points. That's already not bad. And it has a good chance of finishing that city because 3 daggers still available. So, what does KB do here? I mean, the last meeple on the monastery seems a bit reckless. Maybe going over here to just expand the field a little bit is an option. Maybe going over here to deny that secondary field, or going over here to try and block. Do you like this blocking move, Sunny?
He could probably wait for a better blocking tile, but I don't blame him for that because the longer he waits, the longer, like the higher chance that blue will draw the dagger immediately. And in this position, with only 20 something tile remains, I'm not even sure if this is the correct move or not. I maybe done that on my own too.
Yeah, it seems to me. I mean, I'm not sure, to be honest, because the thing with this, you want to do this as soon as possible, but the monastery is statistically like the worst blocking tile. But it works. It works. Now, Blue has committed his last meeple on the monastery, which might have been a misstep because Blue has put himself in meeple trouble again, and that has been the theme for Blue in this game. I think that if he were to be just slightly more conservative, he would have already gotten a massive advantage on the scoreboard.
Well, I think a better placement for that monastery should be creating a blocking square next to the another vulnerable square of the big city to try to create like a Sophie choice block, and not this one, like here, to restrict them to the same dagger.
Yeah, that actually would have been pretty nice. And look at Alan. Oh wait, Alan. Actually, I'm not sure. I don't know KP's real name. So let's call them Kevin Bacon. I don't know, because KB. So he's gonna be Kevin, and he is scoring 4 points for this. But that was a very nice setup, and the only reason why he can take advantage of that setup is because JX doesn't have any meeples.
I don't think so. They oh yes. Why do they set up for this then? When you are the one without meeples, like Blue plays the curve there, right?
Oh yeah, Blue plays the curve there just to make sure that KB does not get the 4 points. So from Blue's sense, it would make sense. But so Black was the one who plays the starting tile.
Okay.
And that was actually smart from Black because it sets up both this 4-point curve and this 4-point city as well. And it's very difficult for J14 here to deal with both. And this is a devastating move. It makes it much harder for JX to do anything in this game because this square is blocked. This road meeple is blocked. This monastery is blocked. So JX is desperately trying to make something happen over here. He's trying to finish this monastery, but will he manage? Because I believe that if KB goes over here, he will make it. Actually, no, that's fine. KB does not block, and I think this is correct. He just scores 7 points, 4 points for the city, 3 points for his field. Will JX get a meeple back? And yes, he does. So still in this game, ahead on the scoreboard, a lot of points on blocked features. Kevin, however, with a lot on the farms, goes over here, takes a lot of points. This creates a secondary farm for 9 points, which it's not the time to meeple this. We gotta score first, either here or here, preferably here at the top. And then Blue probably needs to drop a farmer somewhere closer to the end of the game, but not right now, it seems. Oh, thank you, Elias, for pointing out in the chat that this move actually was that this move really didn't do much because the monastery was already blocked because all the 8 crossroads had gone out, not just the quadruple crossroads, which makes this monastery placement all the more reckless, really. So Kevin now makes a great spatial move, great spatial awareness, and me eliminating the secondary 9-point field and not allowing JX an easy invasion. So then I might have to eat my words about these 4 points here. A 1-pointer for JX. This Malaysia is going to score 8. 11 points extra on the scoreboard. Kevin with a Dorito tile, presumably looking to gain 2 points in the left. Although there's still 2 triple city tiles.
Yeah, should we take the road, like the long road on the right, because there's like 2
horses and a road monastery.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually that'll be, I think, a good way to do things. But it also depends everything on the overall score, which the players know and I don't. Because are you good at counting points, Sunny?
No, very bad.
Well, neither am I, and I just try to make up for that shortcoming in other areas of the game.
I'm terrible at counting almost everything, no matter it's tile or points.
So,
we can estimate like the field is 27 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15, 16.
In the meantime, Jay, I'm gonna just trust your counting.
Yeah, sure.
J14 gets a dagger tile, which at first glance could be used for scoring here. And maybe you have to do that. I mean, you just need to get any points you can get. But then also from JX's perspective, we know that they're out of the 6 remaining tiles unseen to him, 3 or half of them are road end tiles. So is it unreasonable for JX to just go for this 5-point road and try to get a meeple back? Again, everything depends on the overall score, which I don't want to count. So he goes for the quick points.
I believe J14 is leading by like a few points, but the road will change everything. The road is really important here.
And it is indeed. So he chose not to meeple the road. I actually agree with him, because the road would have given back a city cap for KB to score. KB now is going to meeple the road. I think now is really the time. Even if you don't going to finish it, like, what's good, what's better than 5 points really this close towards the end? Instead, he drops a city cap on his field, and he's going to get cleaned up probably. I mean, does JX go there again? Or if there
seems to be no more city cap, or
yeah,
only one or 0, it has to be.
So let's see. J14 has 6 minutes to solve this, but at his rating, I'm not sure if he has enough experience to deal with endgame situations like this, because the endgame is very, very different from the middle game. Positional principles no longer apply. With 4 tiles remaining, there are 24 possible tile combinations that can be drawn by the players, and with 5 minutes you can just calculate all of them. It's really, you go here, I go here, you go here, I go here. So, the city cap, the road, and if you take the road, how do you orientate it? And how do you
open it, like to the right? Because there's like 3 more road end tiles, and if you don't draw it, your opponent draw it. It must be one of them, and
yeah,
you will have to take the road by this anyway.
There's also the road monastery, which does not make Blue's life any easier. You know what? What if Blue decides I can't lose the field and like drops a 0-point farmer over here, hoping for the road monastery, like this, and then hoping to get like this.
I think it's unnecessary. Blue is currently leading, I believe.
Oh man. Oh. I I felt it. I felt it. I felt it.
But he do not have to. I believe he's leading.
Yes, but he doesn't know this because he looks at, field, me lose field bad, field lose bad. Field lose no. Me want field. Oh no. JJ.
But I think it's
Poor
still not
JJ.
game over for.
I mean, can't KB just like meeple a 7-point monastery?
Oh yes, that's true. Yes, he can. Yeah.
Or he might like mouse slip and maybe go here for 5 points, which would lose him the game. Yep, Elias already called it in the chat. And I'm not sure like what it is with fields that make it seem that they're so important. I mean, they are important, but we've seen this year players lose games on unnecessary field attacks probably more than ever before. I mean,
and the fun fact is the point difference should be like 6 if I do not miscount. Like blue is ahead of 6.
So KB's gonna meeple a 1 point.
But there's like a way to equalize that city with a triple city.
Yes, so just to point out, the triple city goes over here. If that were to happen, KB still has a chance to gain 1 more point. Not that he has to, because JX was the starting player, and then it's going to be a tie and a loss.
Yeah.
So literally, for example, like just any other move, really. Any other move. Well, actually not any other move, just the road. Just the road. And it was a pretty sure way to win. But also, it's not the easiest move to fight necessarily. Like, the fact that the road can be game decisive is counterintuitive to many players, especially newer players.
Especially players who do not draw road like a lot. Because if you draw road a lot, you will have to know how to use them properly. Like I always draw the road, so I have to use every of my road to extract some kind of value every time.
Yeah. And now we see how JX gets himself a tile to equalize the cities. Also, Ice May is pointing in the chat that this move had 0 chance of success because every single tile in the deck could block the field invasion.
Ah.
So the 2 horses, and I'm not sure what the final one is, but it looks like it's not difficult to block at all.
Is it like a giraffe?
It looks like a giraffe. Yep. Yeah, so then it's just very, very sad, massive throw. Like, Malaysia had genuine chances in this game. Honestly, a very close encounter between Logan and Alan, and now also here, J14 winning the first game by 1 point, and then now being so close. Just
maybe I make a mistake in my point counting.
Maybe. I mean, I didn't double check, right?
Yeah.
So let's pretend that there's suspense.
Yeah, even if I miscount by 1 point, he has a chance because he might draw the giraffe and not even get that 1 point. Now I have to have a mistake of 2.
But he did get the giraffe. He did get the giraffe. Well, let's see. So I'm very interested to see, like, after this game, like, will J14 realize what the winning move was? Like, after he sees the score?
Probably. Because when the score is different and you have a 0 point meeple, he must know it.
So here's the moment of truth. Was Sunny correct in point counting? I'm not gonna look in the chat. I'm sure my viewers are way faster than myself. $29 points advantage without the the 1 point. The 1 point. The pain. That is that has to be one of the biggest throws I've ever seen, unfortunately. Yeah. And that's great that we caught it on stream, and that is going to be here forever to watch in the ages. Good games indeed, and honestly, great effort from J14 for the most part. I think one new thing for them is maybe just the whole concept of the fieldless win condition. As Glavier pointed up in the chat, the "I can't lose the field" syndrome strikes again. Like if this move is played, then I'm not sure if KB has any chance. Maybe he can draw just all the road ends. He can get quick points, and then a 6-point wild. Yeah, then he wins. Oh, but he can only draw. There were 4 tiles remaining.
Yeah.
So then with this move, if J14 were just to go here, he's actually just guaranteed to finish this road, not that he has to.
Yes. Or if he throw the road monastery and block 2 of the road, then. Yeah,
but then it's such a waste of road monastery.
But he have to, because there's like still two more horse tile, and the remaining one was giraffe and
giraffe too.
But he still lose because there's no point for those city tile.
Actually, I'm kind of interested. Check this out. So, I'm just thinking if Black had some winning ideas of going over here with the giraffe and then with this horse trying to win a ruin on the left for 7 points. Not that it would have done nothing. No. It's, I think, pretty straightforward. Because there were just simply not enough tiles. Wait. I know, but then J14 just gets a meeple back. That's the problem. Like, that's the problem when there are 3 road ends in the deck.
Yes. And why is the road necessary? It's because, like, if you don't do something about the road, your opponent will. And if your opponent don't, you will, for the very next move, guarantee. No matter it's winning or not, it is obviously necessary in this scenario.
Yep. Well, let's just sit for 5 minutes with this final position. Let it sink in. Commiserations to Malaysia for that one. It happens to everybody. Everybody has blown a game once in a while. I'm gonna bury mine deep in the past. That was and still credit for the fight. Let's see if Malaysia manages to do something, and it appears not, because Justin Ether has come back on table 1 against Adrian and Alex 86. Zach Bell is still playing his decider against Wykid 244, which we're going to watch. Sheldal has convincingly defeated the most experienced player on this lineup, Ernest Chia, and with J14 it was close, but not close enough. So how are these guys doing? Have they finished yet? And no, they haven't. Playing their decider is Wykid will be trying to deliver 1 point for his team. At least by looking at the scoreboard, it seems not that likely, but let's try and delve into this position a little bit deeper. So, Sunny, what are your thoughts here?
I saw a scoreboard leading and a fields for blue everywhere. So
that's 9. And that's 6 here for 2 completed cities.
And there's a huge city which may be compensated for a field on the bottom, as I think that it will not get completed. So unless the city get completed, I don't see any hope in
Really?
this situation.
Oh, I see plenty of hope, because after this move, where again, now this time the American player is very keen on fighting for the field, what IKED is going to do now, they're going to go over here, they're going to unify the fields, and they're going to box in this guy for 6 points. And then they're going to draw one of the two remaining crossroads. They're going to go over here. They're going to score 4 points for this road. They're going to liberate their monastery. They're going to tie together these two farmers and this guy. And then later they can either reinvest one of their newer meeples for a meeple majority on the farm, or they can simply block this square. But of course, there's one key move that they need to find, which is to just go over here. Unless... yeah, no, there's really nothing to think about here, and he finds it. Will he meeple the road? Is it crazy? It is crazy, but will he do it?
Why did Lomi put the farm there? What is he hoping for? Hoping for a curve.
Yes, and also, but it's a field, and fields are so important. And if you see a monastery for 7 points and a chance to get a meeple back, then you need instead to meeple a farm for 6 points and no chance to get a meeple back.
No, but it has chance to like overrun the huge field. But how likely is that? Like with a curve on the bottom, the blue meeple will. Oh no.
Well, yeah,
no.
that was the idea. But then, like, why would he wait on which bottom?
Like if he got a curve here and a monastery here.
Oh, like this, yeah.
Yes, then he could overrun the. No, he's blue. Oh no, he's blue. What am I talking about?
No, I mean, so far everything checks out. Like, this was the original idea of blue.
Maybe like have a stronger influence on the main field, because he doesn't need that 7 monastery point in order to win. If he managed to do the whole thing, then he secured the win.
Yeah, but like, why do you have to do the whole thing? Because like, Red's only hope is to create a big field and win. And what Blue has done, Blue made sure to leave himself at a meeple disadvantage for the rest of the game, because Blue's city is blocked here, and which completely compensates the 2 red meeples which are spent on the larger city over here. Wykid has now gotten the equality on the field, which will soon, or should be soon, transferred into the majority on the field. However, Zach Bell got himself the crossroads. At least the first one. Obviously, he's not going to go over here, because that would be bad. He might do something like this, maybe. If Wykid gets the crossroads here and gets the majority on the field, I think it's almost a guaranteed win. For Red, believe it or not. And even now, like, the situation is not that bad for Red at all. Like, there's even some chance maybe how Red takes this without the crossroads, either by sneaking in a last-minute farmer somewhere else, or, as you said, by threatening the completion of the bottom city, which is easier said than done, but at first glance, there are some city plus road tiles remaining, so maybe there's hope.
There's not enough time. He needs 5 tiles minimum to be complete, but he got only 6. And
oh, good point, yeah. Elias is saying you could meeple the road if you want the T anyway. Yeah, and the 2 points might make a difference in the end. But the problem with meeple this road, even though it's not crazy, then this would make this move impossible, because Iked was looking forward to doing something like this, and now he kind of needs still to have a meeple for quick points. He's also scoring here and building up the city at the bottom a little bit. Zach might try and actually still go for this field. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So many curves. Still 3 curves. Just going here with the last farmer is not crazy. And with only 2 minutes on the clock remaining, I kind of feel that this is what he's thinking about, this is what he wants. Because you know what? Okay, sure, that's fine, whatever. But if he goes here and drops a farmer, then if I could get this crossroads, and this would give a meeple back to blue, and so blue wouldn't be in any real meaningful meeple trouble.
But why from this side, not from the other side?
Because I blundered. That I have to be honest. I just didn't think of this idea. I can explain why. So obviously, if we're going to invade the field, then we have to go on the right because it's unblockable. But I was just drawn to this point because it's 3 points. And now that Zach has drawn the second crossroads undeservedly, then and also scored 3 points just to rub it in, then Ike is in a tricky situation, but the game is still not over. I think at this point, maybe we just go for this.
I'm a bit curious about like when is drawing is which drawing is deserved and which is not. Like, what's your criteria of like telling?
Well, because like the criteria, it's like because this move. I mean, it's a neat move, but it looks like a bit of a mistakey thingy.
I have not yet analyzed. I still have I still have no idea about what is the current situation.
So the current situation is that there's equality on the field. Zach finally goes for that farming option. Yeah, so pretty straightforward stuff for the moment. It looks like Wykit needs multiple curves in order to win. He got one. There are still two. Actually, there is also a question of whether the big field is enough, because of this crossroads was not drawn. This also means that the field is going to be smaller, and Ike is not going to win it anyway. Very nice invasion here from Zach, waiting patiently and then striking at the last moment. So yeah, it's interesting how at some point it looked like red was going to have the majority here, but 25%ers sometimes happen. You gotta remember that 75% chance, not 100% chance. And now blue is gonna win this game like plus 50 or something. So, oh, actually the main field is only 15 points anyway. Great move from iKit. But I think it's not going to work because the last curve was just drawn by Zach Bell. Still great idea. It's quite difficult to block. Well, now it's not difficult to block. Not that Zach has to. Oh, no, he doesn't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where's the 6th dagger? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, actually, I think there's a dagger. So, in fact, blue would need to block red. There we go. And there's the 6th dagger. This has to hurt. This has to hurt quite a lot. Dorito tile is not going to make a difference. Players exchange GGs. Blue is going to win with a massive, massive score, which does not reflect how close the game was. So as you can see, our viewers are quicker counting points than we are. 30 points. And with only 49 points, Wykit is a contender for Curiosities of the Week with the lowest score. Although we had a 37 last week, so some games are like very blocky. The all-time record, of course, belongs to yours truly with 34.
Okay.
And also the winner had 55 points in that game. That was a very, very, very special game. Anyway, a 30-point difference. Congratulations to Zach Bell. Commiserations to Wykit and Team Malaysia. Of course, the United States, a much stronger team, and they deserve the win. Although looking at how Malaysians played, especially in that first duel between Logan and Alan, I felt like 0-5 is a bit undeserved. Still, Carcassonne is not about fairness, so 5-0 it is. United States get themselves the win. They put themselves in a great tournament situation, which we're going to have briefly. United, where's there? No, what am I doing? They actually are ahead of everybody. They're even ahead of Japan. Japan, of course, won against the Netherlands earlier, but Japan is sitting out this week. Next week, I believe they're playing against Czech Republic. That should be a lot of fun. Czech, one of the 3 countries who won all of their group stage game last year. So yeah, this looks good for the United States just because of the tiebreakers. For Malaysia, still an uphill climb. They're going to face tougher teams. They're going to face Japan, but maybe they can manage to sneak a match win from one of those. Alrighty, if y'all have any questions to my special guest here, then you'll have about 1 or 2 minutes to ask them. I'm going to ask you one question. So I just want to have a look at your team, which is Hong Kong.
Okay.
First of all, y'all are playing tomorrow, and I'm going to stream that match, this time without Sunny. Let's see, actually, we have the lineups already. No, we don't, so I'm not going to reveal anything, although I know something, I know, but I'm not going to say. First of all, how you rate your chances against Hungary tomorrow, and just your team's general chances in the tournament?
You know what, actually, I actually did not look at all the opponents list of all our opponents. So maybe we could look it together. And
so yeah. Do you want me to show you, or do you prefer to just not know?
I'm just lazy, so I prefer to know.
Okay, Elijah. So let's see. So that's Group A, right? Oh, that's the hard one. This is where you have Finland.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you all guys are gonna struggle against Finland. So okay, against Hungary. Now y'all have China, which is of course a team with which you have played a lot. The loss against Catalonia was certainly painful, as we all remember, right?
Yes.
Right? What else? So probably y'all will need to... Yeah, I think Hungary is really your main match. Because against China is going to be hard. I mean, y'all going to do your best, yada, 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 but it's hard. Against Hungary, though, it seems to be the main chance. And then try to win Finland, who won against Catalonia, and then qualify on tiebreakers. Maybe something like this. So, yeah.
We still have chance.
No, I mean, obviously you have chance. Also, like the loss against Catalonia was with a minimal tiebreaker, and China is not an unbeatable team necessarily. They're just obviously very strong. Y'all also have some very strong players as well, and with the right lineups, it's definitely doable for you. Oh, right. Actually, I kind of forgot that y'all are the reigning champions of Asia.
Yes.
Yeah, that's an important thing.
Yes.
And you were on that team.
Yes.
Yeah. Alrighty, so then we should wrap up because we have another match coming up, which will be not streaming, but I am playing in Latvia versus Taiwan. So I'm not even sure who you'll be rooting for, but okay, so this is the lineups, and this one's gonna be covered by Ice Maze on Ice Maze's channel. So, oh great, because Ice Maze in the chat, you can like, I don't even have to post a link. You can just click on his profile, and there's the channel gonna be. And y'all will have to root for Latvia. These are the lineups, and I have to go prepare for my duel against Sakura Kim, and also to ensure that all my teammates register to the tournaments on time. I feel like it's I always get nervous about that aspect. Oh, right. Thank you, Daniel, for reminding that Hong Kong beat China in the semifinal of the Asian Cup. Yeah.
I'm in that lineup.
Right. Yeah. Who was your opponent then?
Sing.
Oh, right. I haven't actually played with them yet. I think I've played with everybody on Team China except them.
They have a lot of new players, like Phosphate and another great Azul player.
Right, yeah. I've played with him. He seems to be like very quickly learning, and also just already really good.
Yep.
Also, so then if they maybe don't line up him, then we're all right.
Why? Like because we have beat the other player previously, or
wait, but was Phosphate on the semifinal team?
No, he hadn't learned Carcassonne at that point, I believe.
Well, gotcha. So then this means that now, from Hong Kong's perspective, we now need to hope that he's not going to be on the lineup in the match China-Hong Kong.
Personally, I don't mind. Like I think they all like have a similar level, and they're all great, obviously, and yeah.
Okay, that's a good attitude to just fight whoever comes at you. Oh wait! Oh, check this out. There are additions to the Carcassonne GG website. Is this maybe if somebody's here? Is this like the previous record? So what could this 6-2 could possibly mean?
You click on it.
I don't think it's clickable. No, but it appears to be previous encounters. Oh, cool. We get stats. And then, does this mean that only Denver has never played against Stephen Chang? That's very interesting. Because I feel like the Latvian and the Taiwanese player, they both have very similar styles, and they sure must have clashed.
So from the previous result, like Latvia have a huge edge, like it's 7-2.
Oh wait! Napalm has a winning record against Penguin.
Yes.
Oh, awesome! We would really want to keep it that way for sure. So I'm gonna be rooting for Giannis very hard as soon as I complete my own duel. Anyway. Oh yeah, it literally says here. Last 10 head-to-head results over 2 years. Oh, this is so awesome. Alrighty, so I hope I've advertised this match enough. Tomorrow with a different special guest, because Zani has other business to attend to, I will be covering many other matches. I'm not even going to give you the whole list. It's going to be like a 6-hour stream, so just go ahead and look in the video description of the video that I made, and I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow at what 12:50 UTC for a day preview, and the games are gonna starting at 1300 UTC. Yes, Kirillo, I know I can't read. This has been a problem of like not noticing very obvious things. Alrighty, that's it. Yeah, Sunny, thank you so much for joining and coming all the way here. It was fun, and thank you all so much for watching, and I'm gonna see you soon.